should be live. And we're back. Let everybody know the end of the world is not upon us.
I'd like to think I'm that important.
Okay, yeah. But we're back. Slowly gathering the viewers back. Let me go ahead and I've for the folks watching on the Queen City Streams Facebook page, or the folks watching the VOD sometime in the future, as part of the Facebook Level Up program journey. Facebook page, or the folks watching the VOD sometime. I've had to they add Facebook to like meet some kind of goal. I had to make a group associated with my page. So there's now a Facebook group, and it's got. I don't want a QCS group. I got enough nonsense to keep up with. But we did link a group that is it's Kentucky Twitch streamers and fans. So anybody that wants to get involved, if you're watching, join that Facebook group. If you're watching on Facebook and you're not following us on Twitch, go ahead and give us a follow. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool little group. I looked in there just then. We've got 60 people in there right now. So, and if you're, serious about being a being a Twitch streamer, that's 60 people that at least watch watch Twitch sometime, that may want to associate with you sometime in the near future. Whether or not they will, I can't promise you that. You used to be pretty. As we get back into it, Eric, you used to be pretty big on Twitch, right?
Well, that's relative, but yeah, compared to your everyday streamer, yeah, I was in a higher percent of, I guess, of success, but I could get up to like 150 viewers in a stream, something like that. I think the highest I ever got without a host was 200. Yeah, but an average day was probably like 80, 90, something like that was
80.
concurrent.
Now I think the goal, if you're going to be partnered, it's 75 concurrent viewers average over a month. So
the partner thing's BS. I don't know how.
Tell us about it.
I definitely wasn't hitting those metrics. I probably didn't even hit half of those metrics. A lot of it really depended on the game that you streamed, or if you were a variety streamer, or what you like to stream. Now that could have changed now, because maybe this community is more saturated with more streamers, and everyone else is trying to do it, so they're really trying to weed out. But they did have a metrics that they wanted you to hit to be a partner. I didn't hit those. I grinded every day, or close to every day. I would say I streamed about 5 days a week. I had a constant schedule. I probably streamed from like 7 to 11, 11:30, something like that, like every weekday that I could, and then I would stream for like 5 hours or so on the weekend. And I would just try to get to know people. I would reach out to, I don't know what the current social status of D1 is, but I think I reached out to him at some point, tried it because he worked at Twitch, and tried to like work with him a bit and get my foot in the door there. I got rejected 3 times, I think. So third or fourth time was a charm. Cry like a baby when I got partnered. But yeah, no, I mean, it's almost like anything. It's almost like a job job application. They want this. They want 5 years of experience. But if you have a good enough case for your application, especially if you know someone too, that can help as well. So just get your name out there, talk and work with people, network. You can do it without hitting those numbers for sure.
Yeah, I think
it's almost like anything else.
It used to be something wild, like 500 viewers, wasn't that? Some kind of mystical number you had to get to. Now the 75. Now it won't let you apply until you get the 75.
Oh, snap. Okay, no. That's they actually have it automated. No, that's different. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, it probably was a more magical number.
Yeah, they've also got the affiliate thing now where you don't even have to be doing that wild. And when I hit the numbers for affiliate, it just popped up. I just got an email that says, "Hey, you're now a Twitch affiliate." Uh,
Yeah, I mean, hopefully you have to accept all that stuff and actually fill out tax forms and whatever in order to
you do,
get paid, and they're not just throwing money at you without your consent. But
yeah.
yeah, no, that didn't exist. I think they had introduced it right as I was starting to really put the brakes on streaming. So, but no, it took me about 9 months to get partnered of just constant grind.
Yeah. Before we got cut off there earlier, you were talking. You met some of the Hazard people at a stream early in Ultimate over in Pikeville. Then you came in, came back, and you met a few more of the crowd. And you mentioned your weight loss journey. I remember that you were in town for that tournament and you stopped by, but you did not play.
Yeah.
And you were like, I was like, so why you're not playing, man? You're like, dude, I just you just acted like, well, I mean, you not acting, it's you said you when you get into playing, you were like, you just like no life it, and you just let it kind of consume you, and you said it created some bad habits, I guess, and that was when you had really started the grind back to work on yourself.
Yeah, I mean, I think that sort of endeavor of weight loss, and just for perspective, I'm down about 115 pounds since then. So like to change and to get up to that point of being overweight to that point, like you've kind of lost sense of what it is to be healthy, and I needed to rewire that and rid myself of habits, and that takes a lot of energy. It takes a lot of thought. It takes a lot of discipline. And discipline is just like focus of attention. And if I kept all my attention towards Smash and whatnot, then I was going to steal away from, staying focused on, eyes on the prize for successfully losing weight. And yeah, I get lost in the Smash world. I've always used Smash as not always, but it's more times than not been an escape for me from reality, and it's great. I have great memories and whatnot, but meanwhile, I'm also putting another form of myself on the back burner and neglecting it and letting myself go, both physically and mentally. So when it's all said and done, I turn off the Smash goggles and I come back to reality. I'm like, where am I at? And I had to have a hard assessment of that, and that's what helped get me started on the journey, and having to say no to tournaments for a while, and so on and so forth.
Yeah, I think, to me, when you look at all the resources that we've got at our fingertips, the most, when you talk about money, skill, everything in the world that you could think of, I think the most precious resource that we've got is time, because there are only so many hours in a day. There are only so many. And there's only so many days that we're going to be around, and it's hard to. Not as hard as I'd like to, but I used to practice BJJ, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and I'd go in, and it was fun. It was a good workout. But man, I've got I had a full-time job. I've got a family at home. I've always been really active in church. I play music, and I've got all these other things, and it always ended up on the back burner. And I saw one of the guys that I used to practice with once, and he was trying to start his own gym, and he was getting frustrated. And he's like, if you quit, if you were ever a part of the gym and you quit, why? And I was like, it's just, for me, it wasn't a priority for me. And I would look, I would love to say, 5 years from now, I'd love to say, I'm a BJJ black belt. I would love to say that, but that would be, and more like 10 years now since I'm not practicing several, but I would love for that to be something to hang my hat on, but you have to make a commitment, for that to happen. And I was never willing to make that commitment. I am on the health train now, though. I don't know if you can tell. I've slimmed down a little bit. I've slimmed down a little bit. I still got a ways to go to catch you, though.
Definitely heating up in here just looking at you. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
No, it's all, dude. I'm so proud of you. Keep at it, please. And I don't know if you were done on your spiel, but you nailed so many good points of what's it worth to you. Like to pursue an endeavor and reach something. It's easy to want something. It's easy to wish, oh man, I wish I was the best. I wish I was this. I wish I was that. And time is this really tricky thing of like, yeah, it's finite, but sometimes it's virtually infinite. Well, we have so much time on our hands, but we also have so much limited time on our hands. I guess it depends on what angle you look at it. But yeah, no, it's unreasonable to think that you can be good and do something well at all these different things. And I'm actually at a point in my life right now where I'm trying to reassess what I want, how I want to now spend my time. And that's a daily mental activity to try to figure out what I want to do, because even BJJ is something that I've played with going forward, because I'm like, well, how do I keep the health thing going in a way that I enjoy it? And I've taken a recent interest in, I don't want to just say mixed martial arts because it's mostly just me watching UFC, which is mixed martial arts, but zoom in a little bit more. I'm watching some UFC. I try to be very careful how much I let myself get into something, because I can get lost in that one thing, and I don't want to do that until I've made up my mind that that's what I want to do, that I want to lock in on that, whatever that is. So if I want to really become a huge UFC fan, then I want to make that decision. I don't want to subconsciously just get, all of a sudden I'm like, oh man, pretty obsessed with this stuff. Kind of all I'm doing. Is this what I wanted to do? Same with Smash, same with anything, same with any endeavor that I go forward with. I want to be more present when I make those choices. Because it is like, if you want to have a level of excellence or success or whatever your goals are in those things, and I have a tendency to want to push for a high level outcome, you have to give up a lot too, and a lot of people don't realize that.
Yeah, my wife, whenever I pick up something, whenever I start to dabble in anything, she's like, oh God, here we go again. Here it comes. He's going to be he's going to do this. He's going to do that. Because I'm the same way, man. When I get into something, if I'm not careful, 3 weeks into it, I'm psychotic. Tiffany, she'll talk about, she'll say, you do these tournaments and stuff, and you host these Smash tournaments, and you do Twitch and stuff. But even when you're not, she's like, even when you're not doing a tournament on it might just be one Saturday a month that you do this, but throughout that month, you're fooling around on Facebook. You're promoting it. You are making graphics for it. You're making videos to tease for it, and you're and then you're trying to find a way to play Smash with your buddies and practice and get better or whatever. And it just takes a lot of time. It's something that no matter what I do in my life, whether it's being a TO, whether it's being a Twitch personality like I'm doing right now or whatever, I do not want to do it at the expense of my family. You know what I mean? Because the Twitch VODs may get shadow realmed someday. The Twitch viewership may go down, but I'm always I got the two best little kids in the world, even though my little boy is an absolute hell raiser, son. He is absolute. I guarantee you, when we went down earlier, I guarantee you he just walked up to the router and unplugged it upstairs, because he does it. He does it nonstop. If my little girl's playing with a toy that he wants to play with, he will walk up to her, try to take it. If she says no, he will just grab her by the hair and pull her down and take it. I mean, it's just
where'd he get that from, Razor?
Dude, I don't know. I mean, we have some similar attributes, but it's been a wild time. But yeah, and you let's talk a little bit about your smash. You've traveled, went to some majors in the past, and you were grinding at Smash in when it wasn't the cool thing to do. You know what I mean? Oh my God, look at that.
The major life, bro. Yeah. Major life.
Is the Big Blue Showdown one in there?
Yeah, I think it's the biggest one.
Okay.
I think it's big and blue, dude. Let's look for the biggest one.
Hell yeah. Listen. Let me tell you something. I don't know if I made this known on the podcast before or not, but I'm getting ready to drop a major bomb on here right now. Okay. You see that Big Blue Showdown placard that you just had? Okay. I ordered those because I wanted to have my tournament be legit. But you remember Big Blue Showdown 2, 24 hours before that bad boy, it was a question of whether or not that was going to... We had the last, big event.
Oh, man, yeah.
And Eric starts shaking his head. Oh, my God. Because Eric's the guy that I've went to, for advice on a lot of this stuff. And Eric...
It's a murky time.
When it came down to that one, Eric's like, dude, I'm just glad I'm not you, man. I'm just glad, but
I was very glad I wasn't you.
It was a tough one. But when it came down to it, they gave us the green light. The city did, and the health department said we could do it. Just said to be safe, and so we went forward with it. But man, those came in like a week before the thing. And I swear to God, they came in, and they came from China. Dude, I left them outside on my doorstep. Did not bring them inside. I went down to the store, and I bought everything of Lysol I could find, and I filled my sink full of it. And just drenched them, every one, and left them laying there. I knew that if I said, "Yeah, these are from China," that it would have been the end of the world.
Oh God, it's so funny.
But dude, I mean, there couldn't have been a germ on them by the time I got done with them. I mean, I filled the sink full of Lysol, dumped them all in it. And just let them soak for an hour, I bet.
What a weird time it was, dude. So many unknowns, so many questions. To have the virus already be in existence for, a little bit over 3 months at that point. But yet, we still knew so little. And it was becoming more of a reality for us. Like, people were doing the equivalent with like their fruits and vegetables, and like put them in soap and letting them soak up all the. Oh man, I'm just going back now, just a little bit to that time period, and even what that tournament was like. My hands were raw from all the washing that I did. My hands really hurt that tournament, and I couldn't find an effective way to wear the mask. So without my glasses steaming up, anytime I competed, my breathing. Oh, you can't hear me as well?
I turned you up as much as I could here.
Let me know, Jeremy. If that is, I'm assuming that's Jeremy. If that's better. If not, I'll pardon me, but I'll deep throat the mic. Get closer. Because I have it on as high gain as it will. Wait, do I? I don't. Wait, what? What's the gain scale? Is this less gain or more gain? Wait, is the gain button broken? Oh.
Dude, you just got a lot louder, so.
That's why I've been so low for so long. I don't know if I'm... Maybe... Okay.
Eric, you dirtbag.
It's been a while. Listen, P-Paul doesn't know how this technology works anymore. It's been a minute since I've operated a lot of this. I mostly just stay on my computer. But anyways, not to completely change course of what I was saying. Yeah, that was just a weird time. I mean, these are still weird times. But to try to navigate that tournament as a competitor, and I couldn't imagine as a TO or a helper, I really could not have fathomed it. And I'm sure you were reaching out every which way on hey, what do y'all think of this? What do y'all think about doing this? And I'm like, the good thing about you, Nate, is that you do take the time to try to assess the climate and how people are feeling and the safety of others. Like, you're not trying to just host something just to get your fix or to put yourself on the map. Like, obviously, that's nice to, as a part of it. But you do take the time and care and to try to make sure that we all have a good experience. And it's a whole package deal. It's not just you benefiting.
Yeah, so. It's just one of those deals where it's really easy. In this day and time, it's tough. It's really easy to give in to a lot of some pressure from outside or something. And in the age of social media and Twitter, there's a lot of people that are going to say a lot of things. But I mean, to objectively look at each situation, like they're talking about everything. I mean, everything's really political now, but like even with this vaccine, like right now, like what to do about it. Everybody's got their 2 cents. Look, I'm going to see what the people who are paid and studied and know what to do with this stuff, and I'm going to listen. I'm going to listen to them more than I listen to my mom. Who's God bless her heart, the best woman I know. You know what I mean? But I'm not going to take advice from her on whether or not to to take a vaccine. Just like, when it comes to these tournaments and stuff, when it came time to having them, and I think you've seen me on both sides of them because Big Blue Showdown 2, I decided to move on. And as far as I know, as far as anyone else knows, we had about 100 people in there. It was early on into the virus. We disinfected everything. There was dudes there that were not even there to help me. That I just handed them like some of the spray disinfectant. I'm like, dude, just roll down the table, spray it everywhere, and they helped. And as far as I know, no one got sick. And we had a fun time. We had the tournament, and I think we kept everyone safe. I had an invitational scheduled later on in 2020 that I pulled the plug on.
July was it?
It was in the summer. But I pulled the plug on it. I pulled the plug on it because I didn't feel like that we could do it and be safe, given the objective factors that were before me. I didn't think we could be safe, and I pulled the plug on it. And there were a lot of people that, had a lot of strong opinions about that before and after that. And, I thank them for their opinion, but I can only go by, what I think is best for my crew. And I think I did that in both situations.
Yeah, no, dude, it's this trying to filter through science, trying to be as objective as humans can be, trying to filter through emotion that people feel in response to all this, be it whatever, if it's, movement based or health based with COVID and whatever it is. It's hard when you just have people all capsing you in social media or mobbing you and just kind of blanket stating, this is how it has to be without trying to understand an individual's complex situation and understanding that, like, yeah, you can see a photo of me out with a friend, but you don't know what led to that photo being taken. You don't know the precautions that I took. And when I'm, conversating with a stranger, I don't, I keep my distance or I face the other way. I don't, I wear a mask. I do this, I do that. Like, people can draw conclusions from so quickly from either a picture or just hey, we're having this invitational, we're doing this, we're doing that. You don't care about, this or that. You don't care about people's lives, and you're just contributing to the problem. And no, I personally applaud you for taking the time to try to, um, just like the Big Blue Showdown 2, be as reasonable, patient, put up with the stress of having to filter through, a very sensitively, like, emotional time for a lot of people, but also just trying to be considerate of people's safety, their physical and mental health, like all these little things. Like, it's so much more detailed than just blanketing, like, we just can't do this because this. Life is not that simple. I wish it was, but no, I don't actually. But so there are times when I wish it was, but it's not. And you take time to actually sift through some of the nuance of it and be patient and understand the situation. So I appreciate that.
And even before that, I mean, I can. You may remember I pulled you and Jeremy in on a situation because there were some people just that did not want this one dude at the tournament that was signed up for the tournament, and they were demanding answers. I want to know what you're going to do about this. And basically, the guy was a douchebag. As best I could tell, he didn't do anything illegal, but which is crazy considering that it was involving, a pot. I'm not going to say a sexual assault or anything like that, but it was a 19-year-old and a 17-year-old, and he was just pretty creepy about it. He was being a creep. And that's, when I was, my wife was, when my wife was 17, I was probably 19 at the time, was not creepy. But, I looked at the situation and I just messaged the guy. I'm like, because he was basically ostracized by the community. And I just messaged him like, dude, are you coming? And he's like, no, I'm not coming. And then, so I just told everybody he's not going to come. Kind of made the decision for me. But it was, it was crazy because we, not too long after that, not very many weeks down the road, did the whole community blow up over a lot of situations that were a lot worse than that.
July was weird.
Yeah, what was your feeling dealing with all the, I guess, kind of a smash Me Too movement, I suppose, kind of popped up. What
This might have been like a second wave of it. What was you finished your question? Sorry.
What was going through your mind when all this stuff was going down? Loaded question.
I've had more of a backseat lately through my whole like self-improvement and whatnot, where I've tried to really stay out of current events as best as I can, just because I need to work on me, because I can't help the community, I can't help other people unless I've helped myself. So I've been really backseating a lot of this. But July even got me kind of like, got me a little more on edge, and a lot of I was like, oh, what's going on? Everything's falling apart. It was exhausting to try to keep up with everything because it was information overload, story anecdotal overload, and just knowing that there are going to be people caught in the crossfire among this pool of, accusations that aren't legitimate. And that worried me. It also broke my heart that some of them, or some or a lot, did seem legitimate. At the time with the evidence we had, and that hurt me, just because I've interacted with these players. I've had conversations with these players. I, spent time outside of just sitting down for a match with these players. Some of them, and it's heavy. Like it wasn't healthy for me to try to keep up with all of it, and eventually I had to step away from it. But as you can see, with how people are, like, we'll take the Naira situation for example. We don't know the full story on that completely, and new details have rolled out on multiple occasions, I believe, with that one. And it seems like the mindset shifts a little each and every time new information comes out about it. And isn't that enough alone to, like, remind people to not be so gung-ho about just completely canceling someone out the gate, and, like, hearing, like, get as much of the story as you can as you're ever going to get first, before just pulling the trigger and saying, you're done, son. And because we don't know what kind of negative impact that's going to have on the person being accused. Because we're all human after all, like, monster or not. Like, you did have to ask the question, how did we get to that point of being a monster and being these things? Like, there's so much to it, and it's I don't know exactly where I'm going with this answer anymore. I just know that this was an array of different feelings that I had during that time. So sorry, I was getting. But yeah. So yeah, no, that's a dosage of what was going through my head, was that there's a lot more to all this than and not just a lot more to all this, but there's just a lot to it in general already, with just the evidence that was coming through, and just the ebb and flow of, like, being weirded out, grossed out, disgusted, and, like, feeling bad for people, and just an array of emotions. And I eventually had to let check out for my own sake, and go back to working on me. So I went back to really backseating it again. But I tried to post some positivity things, like show my weight loss progress and stuff, which sounds vain. And I was, like, really weird about doing it at the time. But I was like, I just want to take people's eyes off of, like, there's not just people out there doing shitty things. There's people out there working on themselves and trying to be healthier and take care of themselves. And I want to encourage that in other people. So that's about as much involvement as I got in it. So
yeah, it was a wild time, and I I didn't have any personal experiences with these people, but what really kind of opened my eyes in all this was just how different the Smash community is, with how it was all grassroots, and just the way things have grown, and just I mean, and even in the past, in the couple of days, I don't know if you knew the young guy in Indiana that passed away over the last few days. He
my favorite player. So yeah.
A lot of people are talking about, and Jeremy, I think he posted, a lot of people in the Smash community, their socialization, comes from this community. They might not get that anywhere else. And it's really a hard time with COVID going on, that you can't just go to a friend's house and play some games anymore. You can't just get together with your buddies and do whatever anymore. It's harder to do now, and it's important to check on each other. But it stood out to me that and coming from my background as a teacher, like I heard what was the house, the streaming house where all the stuff went down?
The Sky House.
The Sky House, not to be confused with the Sky Weebs over in Corbin. the Sky House, I guess in
It's
California.
based off of Sky Williams was the content creator, and he had this house.
Like there was that girl in there that lived with them, and I think she had ran away from home, and she was a teenager and talked about what she dealt with, and I'm like, man, uh,
Yeah.
some of an adult, and this is not. I mean, that's bad. That was just a bad situation. But I'm saying, like, if I'm, some 20-year-old dudes, and there's a 16-year-old girl that wants to stay, or 15, 16-year-old girl wants to live with you or whatever. No, I'm saying, that's the world that I come from. Traveling with minors across state lines and spending the night with people when there's drinking and stuff going on. But this is a grassroots movement that just said, hey, we're having a tournament. Everybody crash at my house. Hey, I need a hotel room for the night. Can I stay with you? And a lot of bad things happened out of this. And I think it opened a lot of people's eyes as to, how we should, how we should interact with each other in a community like this.
Yeah, no, there's definitely room for a lot of maturity to be had. Even within myself, I started thinking back of like, I've been a part of the community since I was 19. I'm 31 now, and so 2008 was when I first started traveling. And I mean, thankfully, I didn't go down any weird and regretful roads, but I do remember just being still feeling like a kid, not really caring about like being around all sorts of different age demographics and that scene and stuff. I was just there having fun. It's easy to have the blinders on at the time and just be a kid and not really think too much about what could go wrong. And before I know it, I'm 25. I'm still kind of doing the same thing. I'm still going to the same tournaments. I still have the same kind of vibe. I mean, I traveled abroad for almost 6 years, and it makes you wonder how much did that lifestyle promote or just give opportunity for for things to happen at like the Jisoo thing you brought up, and the dude that was involved, a video gamer. He's from Ohio. He used to house Mewtwo King back in the early days of Brawl and late Melee. I'm sure if I'd bumped into him, I would have just thought he was chill dude, and wouldn't have thought anything of it. I could have maybe even seen those two at the tournament at a tournament, and not that point in time of my life, me probably wouldn't have thought anything about it. Wouldn't have recognized the situation just because the awareness to it wasn't made yet. And I think now we have raised more awareness to it, and I think all this, as unfortunate as it has been, it's going to help shape how we conduct ourselves going forward. So I do think there's definitely some silver linings in it all, as dark as it got, in my opinion.
And I think it's I think it opens up for some new leaders in the community that are good role models and folks that can kind of keep their hands clean, and even then I think since then HBox has really emerged as a real vocal leader in the Smash community. But you mentioned that you thought that maybe some people could get caught in the crosshairs here and not have anything going. Some people tried to cancel him. Some people came out with some stuff against him, but it was stuff like, he and I'm not exaggerating here. He looked at me and made me feel uncomfortable or something like that at an event,
Mm-hmm.
and he apologized for it, but there were some people out there that were going to that aimed to deplatform him, and he's okay. Soup Bean, HBox accusations were bad. He was mean. He hit on girls. I mean, it's tough. It's a tough situation for everybody involved. But I think when we do get to open up and things come back, I think we'll have room to find some really good role models in Eastern Kentucky. I don't. It's a different world in Eastern Kentucky, man. We we handle our business a little differently down here. I think, look, if somebody tried something at one of our attorneys, look, Ray would pull on them. He would pull on them and not think twice about it. It would. We're a different brand down here, and but I know we're also. It's crazy. When I think if you go to a Louisville tournament, like a Waifu or something, and I'd say the majority of the people are college age or maybe Louisville students, kind of like that. Eastern Kentucky tournament, average age about 26 or 27, and that's not a joke. You know what I mean? That's not a joke.
Yeah, no, I'm probably part of the reason why I got along so well with Eastern Kentucky out the gate, because we have similar roots, but also the age demographic really helps out. I don't know who's going to last in the whole longevity of Smash for the younger players that are currently in it. I don't know, if this is just they'll do it for a few years and they move on, but for players like myself who have been around for 12 years now, eventually you kind of like blink and open your eyes and you're like, I'm a lot older than a lot of people here. And different communities like MDVA, for example, had a little bit higher age demographic, so I didn't really even think about it. But then when I moved from MDVA back to Cincinnati, I felt so old. Then I moved to Kentucky again, my home state. Hardly anyone that I had spent 6 years of my life around for Brawl was around anymore. And all of a sudden, as much as I had done for the state, helping run tournaments, running my own tournaments, all the countless hours I spent on Smash boards, helping with the PR, I was nobody. I was just that guy that went to Xanadu up in MDVA, so I was an outsider again, and surrounded by a young demographic. And so it's that was a very bizarre feeling to come back to, because I felt like I was coming home, at first, and then I was like, then I had to kind of reassess what home was anymore, because it wasn't the home that I knew. I didn't have the players that I miss. I get to see those people from time to time, but not as much anymore. So,
yeah, I imagine it's I literally blinked and I was 30 when I started Smash, because I didn't get into it after I was 30. I think I'm in it for the long haul, man.
Yeah.
When Smash 10 comes out, and I'm still gonna be bald. I'll put some Just for Men in the beard and still be throwing charge shots. It seems fun. I wonder. I wonder, how many more Smash games we've got left. You think it's just going to always be around, or do you think they'll eventually just put the nail in the coffin?
Yeah, I'd imagine it's going to be around for a while. And if not, Melee might never die, so we could always just go back to Melee if they've proved to stand the test of time. So what are they going? Almost 20 years strong. So
19.
What was that?
19.
2001, I believe, is when they came out, right? Because 99 was 64, I think.
Yeah.
Okay. That's so weird. 64, then 2 years you get a Smash, and then like 2008 we get Brawl. 7 years. Then you go, okay.
And people are still playing Melee, dude. What are your thoughts on the? I don't think everybody acts shocked when it first happens, but Nintendo shutting down Big House Online over Slippy and Melee.
Their culture's weird. They're I don't know if there's like some deep-seated, very just conservative, strict Japanese culture thing going on there. I'm not sure. Um, I don't I don't know what it hurts. I I guess it's the perspective of uh well, I guess for Malians in particular, they just want that game to be dead so they can promote their, their newest stuff. But they've been a butt to the newer stuff too. So, or they don't know what their angle is completely. Um, no, I think to sum it up, bullshit. Um, yeah, it's. Did you see the Splatoon thing?
Oh yeah,
I,
yeah.
I haven't
And
looked too much
well,
into it. I don't know how much truth there is to it.
the official call was uh they said that due to issues with the execution of the stream, they're going to cancel the live stream or whatever. Which we all, I mean, we can. I guess it's one of those things where we don't know, but we understand that. We understand why it was going to happen. Dude, Nintendo is for a company that you know markets themselves to be so, oh, we're all one big happy family or whatever. They seem to kind of rule with an iron fist when it comes to a lot of this stuff.
They're also like they try to be so innovative, and esports could be an excellent opportunity of innovation. Like it's such a fresh market still. They could do so much with it, and it doesn't have to just be esports. It doesn't have to be competitive all the time. It's like, hey Eric, why? What do you think about this? This casual of here. Well, that's awesome. I'm glad that this person, like, has a particular way they enjoy playing the game. Nintendo, there are people that like to play your games in different ways, and there just so happens to be quite a large number of people that like to play it. And they're not the majority, but they're large enough to probably be considerable, and they like to play competitively, and they like to push themselves and challenge themselves. I'm sorry that there's winners and losers and all this, but it pushes each other. I've grown the most in my entire life. I've carried so many different facets of competition elsewhere with me because I played Smash Brothers competitively with no help from Nintendo outside of just giving me some beautiful games, which is a big undertaking. But other um, publishers are doing more. I think it's bullshit. I think they're really. I think they got it wrong. I think maybe this generation needs to die out or something, but I don't know. I don't know why they're so gung ho about sticking to their guns on this one. I wish they'd just be transparent, but I think they're being cowardly about it. So
it's wild, and I think part of it is that you mentioned the whole Japanese culture thing, which is something I don't think that we're ever going to be able to understand because we don't live over there. But I remember just thinking, Evo Japan last year, like the Smash, so many people didn't go to compete in Smash because like taking off work for a Smash tournament is like a disgrace to your family's name over there. Like they just can't do it. And Nintendo, you got a Pro controller if you won though. I don't know if you saw that or not. That Capcom, if you went over there, thousands of dollars in a pot bonus. But then Smash, you win a gold-plated Pro controller.
They get it right in so many ways, and who's to say what's right and wrong? But like they do get it right in a lot of ways where you see like the amount of respect and whatnot and pride people have, and just the respect for one another, the kindness. The you don't have the reluctancy to wear a mask. They were doing it before COVID. My last girlfriend was Japanese, and so I was around a Japanese family a decent amount. And just even the way I conducted myself in their home, make sure the shoes are off at the door. You wear the house slippers. You just had certain etiquette. I really enjoyed those parts, but like the work-life balance, you don't go home till your boss goes home. Things like that. It's, I don't know. It's like they hit it so well in so many other places, but then I feel like they're missing in others, and I feel like they have room to grow too. So
we all do. We all do.
Yeah. Amen to that.
Did you see the? I think it's always good when you see a twit longer on Twitter. Did you see the HBox twit longer? That was like that talked, I guess, insider information about all the things Nintendo had done over the past like several years that kind of shut down any type of competitive scene anywhere. I think they were mentioned possibly doing something on like ESPN2, and they were charging like $20-some thousand an event for broadcast rights or something. And it wasn't, and it's like they would never just say no. They never wanted to just say, sorry guys, we will not allow you to do this. They just made it so freaking infuriatingly hard to do something that everybody just kind of threw their hands up.
I don't know how many people know about what Brawl was like at MLG in 2008. Because I think Melee was allowed to be streamed back in like 06 and whatnot. Like Nintendo hadn't like esports wasn't a thing yet. Esports wasn't really a term until like early 2010s. But like in 08, that's when I first started seeing semblances of like, we don't want this to be a thing. They shut down the streaming at MLG, all the MLGs, like last minute. I went to MLG Columbus, MLG Raleigh, and MLG Washington D.C. Went to 3 that year, 2008, I think. And how people at home got updates was some sort of like makeshift blog post. Someone would go walk around the stations and be just on their phone sending updates to this website. Mr. Eric beat blah 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 2-0, blah 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 blah. And sometimes they get it wrong because someone's trying to frantically stay on top of all that, and that's it. That's all we had. We didn't have a bit of live, not even a live bracket. All because we just couldn't have a freaking stream. It was just like, why? What do you lose? If I can understand what they're losing, then I would understand it better. Maybe I would be more understanding, but they're not even being transparent about it. They're just being dodgy.
Yeah, I think it's just, dude. I think it's just they. And I'm kind of like this to an extent, but I just think they just want absolute control over their IP. You know what I mean? Like they don't want.
But why?
Dude, I mean, I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I can tell you this. If I've had several people come up to me and say, "Hey, can we do a QCS? We'll say Splatoon, since people are talking about that. Can we do a QCS Splatoon League? Hey, guess what, Razor? I'll run it. You don't have to do anything at all. I'll take care of it. We can put it on your stream. We can do everything. It is free content whatsoever. But here's the deal. If they do the Splatoon thing and friggin' dick it up, it's got my name on it. You know what I mean? And I wouldn't want that. I don't think, I think that goes into it to an extent is, they don't want their name on it, competitively because it's a, it's a children's party game. It's for good girls and boys or whatever Sakurai says. And I think that's a big part of it. They don't. But again, I just see you can still have that. you can turn items on and then turn items off. You know what I mean? It's not it's not one of those things that are, I don't think the two are mutually exclusive. You mentioned, there's some casual players out there that get on Twitch and do whatever. Dude, there's this guy on, I'm not going to say his name because I'd be openly being a jerk to him. And plus I don't remember his name, but it was in the Atlanta Smash group, or the Georgia Smash group. There's this guy that was streaming on Facebook in there, and he had like 50 viewers. And I was like, well, this guy's probably pretty good, And I got in there, and I was watching him. I'm like, man, I don't think he's that good. I could be wrong. You never know. You could, till you get in there and see what's going on. And I got in there, dude, just joined the lobby and just freaking beat the piss out of him. And I'm like, dude, this guy's got 50 Twitch viewers, and I can beat him. And I can beat him, Eric. This isn't like someone that is that good, It's just, it's just the personality. He gets in there and has fun, and people watch him. And look, maybe, I don't know, maybe the Samus is just getting better. Maybe it's getting better.
Samus is definitely getting better. I'd hope. I don't know if I've even seen
You hope that is that an insult? Is that an insult? Hey, I got a top 8 in the tourney the other day. Did you see that?
No, I didn't, because I haven't kept up with hardly anything.
The Cincy tourney over the last week, I top 8'd it. It's like about 70 entrants. I got an 7th. So yeah. But I still got a way to go before people fear me. They put me on stream, and I was playing some like Luigi out of California, and they're like, yeah, we've got Riki versus Razor. Oh man, that Luigi's awesome. He's incredible. And I get in, we start there, and I'm just like, friggin' zoning the hell out of him, just charge shots, missiles from across the stage, and they're like, well, just typical Samus stuff, I'm like, what am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to run in there with my 2-hit jab combo that doesn't connect, and
now, I mean, don't put a ceiling there when there doesn't need to be one. But if what you're doing works, or if it's your play style that you enjoy doing, then so be it. Maybe there is a lot more that you could uncover that you could do if you wanted to do it. But you want to eat glue, spam charge shots, and teabag, and it's effective. Doesn't even have to be effective if you just want to do it. Who gives a shit?
That's what I'm talking about.
Let me before I lose it. What's the Pokemon scene like then? Because isn't there a Pokemon trading card game that's under Nintendo? I know they have their own little sub kind of org for Pokemon in particular, but isn't that pushed competitively? Isn't there money? Some money? Is that streamed?
Isn't that I know this is a big surprise to you, but that is a little too far into weeb culture for me to really dabble in.
As far as I'm aware, it's a thing that's thriving enough, and Nintendo backs it. Is my only point.
Yeah.
I'm ignorant in this, so I don't want to speak to it like it's all truth. But that's the impression I have, and it makes me wonder. Yeah, Jeremy, but they have actual there was an old the guy that runs Smashboards or used to own Smashboards, Alpha Zealot. He's from Columbus, Ohio. Well, when I ran into him back in the broad days from Columbus, Ohio. I mean, he moved up there to work specifically for Nintendo to be a tournament organizer. They have jobs for being, actual TOs and stuff up there. And they stream it, they televise it, they push it. It gave me this impression that they back it. And that's really the only thing that I wanted to touch upon. Maybe they look at the trading card game as well, there's only one way to play it. With Smash, maybe they had an idea of how it's supposed to be played, and then they gave us options to play it differently, and then I don't know. What's up, Amber? What's up, Meemaw? What's up, everyone else, by the way? Wawa, yeah, see me Mario Kart, even though you'll beat my ass. Also, Wawa, how is that chip? And tell me who your internet service provider is, because you opened up that clip with internet was sucking. and I'm curious. Hey, buddy, what's good? Soup Bean, Abe, anyone else I missed? Hopefully everyone's doing well.
One of the Living Goods is in there. It says, never forget that Razor took a game off
Living
Leon.
Goods.
Razor took
Leon.
a game off Leon. Dude,
okay.
I'm still upset that
Leon, yeah.
I'm still upset that I lost that game, lost that set. Still upset. Just one of those deals where I just went into it, like I just went into it knowing that I was going to win. And that sounds stupid, right? You got a PGR player, and I'm just telling myself, I know I'm going to win this. Like, I feel like I'm going to win this. And a lot of it is just, I've played some really good Bowsers online, especially, and I just knew that I could freaking, frustrate them to no end. And we get in there in that first game, dude, and I beat him, and he's like,
lit him up.
They're like, what? They're like, they asked him, what you think? What happened there? And he's like, dude, he just messed me up. I don't know. And then it went downhill from there. It's one of those things, though. I don't know. I think mentally there's a thing with fighting games that I kind of get in my own head sometimes, where I think I'm going to win, or I know I'm going to win, and then if things don't go that way, I kind of just default to eating glue, and things go south from there.
Well, that part's funny because oftentimes when you play someone that's a top player, you either sink into two other mindsets. It's either one, they're so good, I just expect, there's no way I can beat them. They're just that much better than me. Two, what do I got to lose? I'm already expected to lose, so I'm not really nervous. So I can let loose a little bit more. I'm not as tense because I'm already expected to lose. And then you'll start to tense up as you start to win. But usually people don't just go in with like just pure like I got the experience, when they're not as close to in rank as like, for example, like you compared to Leon. So yeah, that's a cool different take that I'm not used to with top players.
I mean, I was obviously wrong too, since I knew I was going to win, and then I didn't win. But when I won that first game, dude, I was like, I've got this, I've got this. And then it went south. It happens. What? Let's talk. You held up all your placards and ID badges. What's
all my memories?
Didn't you had a big run at an Evo once, right?
I don't remember. Did I? I mean, I don't think I ever had like terrible runs. I had a bad pull once. I think my best run was probably at a Genesis, maybe, or so. Got like a 49th there, or 33rd at one of the nationals. I can't remember. I never gotten like a top 16 or
Jeremy said
top
smash
8
and splash.
Smash and splash counts. Oh yeah, that's a good one. I got 5th there, but I guess that was the first smash and splash, so it felt less like compared to like a Evo. It was like a pseudo national. It was like a region. It was like just a regional. So it's like it's not quite like oh hey, I got what did I get top 5 at Big Blue Showdown 2, or did I get close, or did I get 7? I don't remember. I know I got top 8.
I think you were either 5th or 7th. I forget.
Sure. But so getting 5th at Smash and Splash is probably a little bit harder, for example, than getting 7th or whatever at Big Blue Showdown 2. So that was a bigger deal at the time. I think I ended up losing to Ally, and Wizrobe put me in losers, and then I beat him again in the run back, I think, is what happened. No. He put me in losers, and I beat him at a Smash Con. Who put me in losers? JJ Rocket?
I don't know.
I don't remember. Dude, I had to sit and like weave through my brain a bit on some of these nationals. I mean, I've had good wins. That's the thing. That's the thing about going to so many tournaments is a lot of them kind of blur together at some points until I really sit with them and think them out. Because I mean, I went to a lot. There was like a month, for example, where I was up in Chicago for a tournament one weekend. The next weekend I'm down in Orlando, Florida, and then the next weekend I'm up in New Jersey, and I'm just like consecutive weekends, just boom, 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 and so it's like I wonder how many badges I have.
I'll say 25.
I'll say 25. I mean, I've been to every Apex.
TC Dub says, dude, I have no recollection of events from 2015 to now. It's one big giant blur with a bread throwing memory in the middle there, then a bunch more blur.
2 Evos. I went to Pound 2016. I went to Pound 2012, I think, 2011, whatever the last one was that had the controversy where the guy didn't pay out or Plank didn't pay out. Apex 2012. I do miss when they used to put names on the badges. I do miss that because I know it's a lot of work, but being able to go to a national and actually identify players, like, because there's so many people, it's nice to see, like, oh, that's you. I see your name come up in bracket. Well, back then it was like, I saw you on Smashboards, but that's not as much of a thing anymore. So it's like, oh, I saw your bracket run. Now I have a face to the name. So I do miss that. Smash the Splash did that. So I went to the first 2 Smash the Splashes. But yeah.
Yeah, on the Big Blue Showdown badges, I had it was my intention to, on the bottom of them, to have a place to put like an address label and print off all the stuff just to print off your tag and put it on there. But when things went south with COVID and we opened up at the door registration, I didn't have anything to put on there. So
wait. So your intention was to do what? I lost you for a second.
Okay. At Big Blue Showdown 2, I had, we had those placards, and the plan was that I had some sheets of mailing labels, and I was going to just print out, the labels that had their tag on it, and you stick it on there, and it was waiting for you when you got there, and you just pick it up.
That's cool. Yeah.
But then when things went south with COVID and we opened up at the door registration again, I wouldn't have any way of printing them there at the spot, so I just gave everybody those humongous things. And I'll remember next time to order ones that are not as big, because
dummy thick, definitely the biggest one out of my entire collection, at least by like a quarter size. And the reason I lost you for a second, I didn't lose you audio wise. I lost you in my brain because, like, this one triggers Frostbite 2017 triggers just strong memories for me because I was at my lowest point as a competitor, as a person when I went to this tournament. This was at this tournament when I drove up to Michigan, Detroit, I think by myself. I was coming to terms with retiring from streaming. This was a point in my life where I was like, dude, I'm letting myself go in so many ways and I don't know what to do. I'd quit my job for Smash pretty much to try to pursue content creation, and I was burned out. And I mean, I was really low. I was probably depressed. I was numb. Not that it might take a weird turn, but like just an example of like what these are for me. They're keepsakes, but like they really spark feelings for me. I'm just like revisiting me sitting in the car after I lost and just thinking for about a good hour and occasionally crying and just going through the emotions of how I felt. I remember trying to watch Sue versus Zero in grand finals, and if you look in the back, everyone's like up and down screaming, and I'm just kind of like not feeling as much, because I'm really just going through some weird intense emotions at that time in my life. And these are awesome. I love having these, and I really, God, I miss going to tournaments. That made me miss tournaments so much. Derailed segue. I don't know how you follow up that, but that was that's what they do to me.
Yeah,
So.
I mean that's part of one of the things that part of one of the reasons why I gave him out at my tournament. It was, I think we would have had 150 some people had we not had the COVID shenanigans. We were right there at it before it went down.
The momentum from Big Blue Showdown was big. It was, you could definitely see it was becoming something.
Yeah,
and even the way the tournament was ran, and the fact that you stay innovative, you tried out the lights off, you tried out the intro, you tried out music themes. The tournament before that, you tried out, let's see how the home run contest goes. Like this, you tried things, and you don't get caught up in the fear of failure. You're not overly conservative with your, your thoughts and ideas. You push the meta of what Kentucky Smash is, and that's refreshing because a lot of people have already done this. They push the meta themselves. Tasty's pushed the meta. Jeremy's pushed the meta, and it's like, I can't speak for Tasty because I don't know him during that process as well, and we haven't gotten as close as like compared to like, I spent a lot of my time around Jeremy, so I know the backlash and stuff that he's gotten for running his events. But I get to see it with you and what you have to go through to try to have a successful event. I do get to see the emotion of lack of being able to run tournaments that Tasty has to go through, and that sucks. But the point I was wanting to get at though was like, you're being innovative, and you're helping probably inspire other people in the state to compete with that, to learn from it, to want to work with you. And you come from a neck of the woods that's just way out of the way from the rest of the state. We're a wide state, but a lot of the action so far like has happened central, and I think what you've brought to the table has brought a lot of the sub regions together, and I never could have fathomed that I would see Eastern Kentucky representation at Louisville events and out of state, and that you're sitting in a freaking Queen City studio because you dreamt that into reality. Like, that's unreal to me. So
a studio that is right next to my wife's gym and my daughter's playroom. But I mean, that's beside the point. It looks cool to hear. This looks pretty cool though, doesn't it?
It's the effort. It's the so much thought and energy and love and stress that goes poured into it on this concoction of things that, whatever cocktail comes out of it, like, it's pretty good tasting one. You help push the meta, and that's so valuable. And getting everyone's panties in a wad with the weird random occurrences of how the whole NWO thing that you did, the wrestling take, that unfortunately the majority age demographic of Smash, it went over their head, and
that made it so much better. That made it so much better.
Well, it did, and it was also like, I think, good because we're so sensitive to, and this is not exclusive to just young people. This goes for me as well, and it's refreshing to be able to check ourselves a bit on like, why am I getting so tore up over this? What even is this? It's similar with the Luigi Ghoshard thing. Freaking character. I get that it touches upon more controversial stuff, and I can understand more there. Why? But like, some people can't even accept that it's primarily a character. And even on a lighter level with you, when you weren't really even doing much, the panties were in a wad. But for the longest time in Kentucky, I hadn't seen a more special event than that Queen City event that you held at Perry County. Perry Central or whatever the high school is.
Which one? We had. You came down for 2 of those. One of them was
the one with the crew battle.
With the
big
battle.
Crew battle.
That was that was Summer Smash. Summer Smash, and it was at a grade school.
I was trying to keep from tearing up when you were breaking kayfabe, because you just, the way it all came together, and I don't know, it's like, not to get weird, but it was like poetic. It was like a beautiful thing to see. That was about as Brawl as it's ever gotten for me since Brawl. Was like seeing it very community based, and not just little cliques of community, but like seeing Southern Kentucky come and want to strongly represent Southern Kentucky, and seeing Eastern Kentucky want to strongly represent Eastern Kentucky, and just little fuck boys like me coming from, I just want to see what the hell is going on. I was invested. I was emotionally invested, and just seeing it was a hype crew battle. It wasn't just some, like, sometimes you get a crew battle and people are just kind of, let's go Billy, yeah Billy, and it just kind of dies out pretty quickly because no one's as emotionally invested. But you got people riled up. You got people wanting to like prove themselves. You brought 50 plus people to Hazard. Like that whole tournament was just awesome. I enjoyed cheering for people.
Dude, that was I was telling Jeremy when I had him on, I said that's my favorite event. I mean, the Big Blue Showdowns are cool, but that's my favorite event that we ever did. And and not, I'm not, Jeremy's in here, I'm not being a dick, but I remember, we had a crew battle. I mean, Eastern Kentucky and Southern Kentucky, we're kind of at the bottom of the barrel, when it comes to talent wise. And I think we've got some shining stars coming up, but, it's always Louisville, it's always Lexington. And for that moment, man, for the time leading up to that, I mean, all eyes were in Kentucky. We're on the little guys. I remember Jeremy say, I put the poll in the Bourbon State group, and it was like, hey, who are you with? And it was like Sky, and it was an anime gif, or EKY, and it was a wrestling gif. And Jeremy was like in the EKY chat, like, what's going on? There's tons of people trying to join the Bourbon State group just to vote in this friggin' poll,
Yeah.
Tasty got in. Tasty was in the chat or posted on Bourbon that day, and he's like, "Hey, we got a tournament this coming Wednesday. I'm totally not, trying to ride the hype off the crew battle. And the crew league finals were in Louisville that day. You told them to F off and came down to EKY.
I had already promised you as the thing. Yeah. I hated that. I hated that part of that day. That sucked because not to completely cut you off, so sorry about that, but just real quick, I went to every single crew battle for a crew league that season, and I'd already committed to what you would, committed to. And originally, Jeremy's crew thing wasn't even supposed to be on your day. He moved it for some other Smashers because they wanted to go to a different tournament or something. I can't remember exactly, but I had already committed to going to this, and I'm like, guys, I don't know what to do. And people didn't like me for it for a period of time. I'm like, I'm not going to be fickle. Where were you all at? You all being the rest of my crew league for every event, for every other event prior to this. Is this the only one that matters to you? Because I came to every other, one of them. And I would have came to the last one too if I hadn't already committed myself. And I'm a commit. Like when I commit to something, like when I woke up and I said, "Hey, what time do you need me to be on for this thing?" It's 5:55. Okay, I'll be there. Like I don't flake unless something really comes up. Pride myself on that. I think that's very respectable. And but anyways, yeah, that part of that day sucked.
Yeah, but I was just saying, we got Eastern Kentucky and Sky and the big, crew battle with probably the better players, with undoubtedly the better players, kind of had to take a back seat for a little bit, for the little guys to have their moment. And man, I've wanted to achieve that that vibe that we had during that crew battle. And it is my goal. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but when it comes time, there will come a time, and I'll get there. I'll figure out how the hell to do it. But it's the like the top 8. I always hate it. Like for example, the last bourbon regional I went to, I forget, barrel bash, double barrel. I think it was double barreled. I think you came in late, right at the tail end of it, as they were like starting to clean up, basically. But
Oh yeah,
was it Mist and JDB in the finals? Maybe.
Yeah, I was actually driving and like had the audio on, listening to it, trying to make it because I was doing my coding boot camp at the time and I couldn't commit to showing up for things. I think, and I was trying to make finals, and I could hear, I wanted to come support the event a little bit, drop in and say hello, and yeah.
But like I remember sitting there at that event, and I'd been playing some friendlies with Jen and Darkholm and Dr. P. I'd played a bunch of friendlies. My run didn't last that long, sadly. But I remember getting up after playing my last friendly, and it was time for grands. And, here you go, grand finals. And there is a wall of friendlies going on. The good girl guys are watching JDB and grands. Whoever missed carpool was there. And it's grand finals, and there may be a half dozen to a dozen people watching it. And I remember, and I'm just thinking, man, what do we got to do to get that level of, the crew battle level of hype for the top 8, for the top 8 of an event? And I thought we had a pretty good deal going on at Big Blue Showdown too. We were a lot closer to it than we were at the first Big Blue Showdown, but we still weren't there, and I don't know what it's going to take, but I am committed to finding a way to get the crowd there.
That's a hard one. That might be the hardest. Like if you would phrase it as a question, like how do I do that? That could have been the hardest question you asked me all night. Is how do you make a hype top 8 for a modern day Smash game? But Melee's got it figured out. Maybe they just have it figured out because it's Melee.
Also, it's harder to have a bunch of setups for Melee too. So they're limited.
I don't think it's just that. I think people just I think it's way more spectator friendly for I feel like more casual players and whatnot. Any level of player can appreciate some smooth Melee, but to appreciate the 5-head of a grand finals of a modern day Smash, it's hard to really see it as a interesting thing. I feel like there's more chess involved. It's not just an action film where just all the flashy stuff's happening all the time, and it's really fun to watch. But there is Melee at its core, at its top level, isn't just an action film. There's more to it, but I think on the surface level it is. And then you get into it, and it's also chess. It's also this magnificent thing of decision making and a lot of really good things going on. But I think it has a good entry. Not entry way to play the game with your hands, but entry to watch it. You're just hot damn, this is fun to watch. Now I do think if grand finals of that tournament with the Sky crew battle was that the one with me and Ace and Grands? I think if it wasn't me and Ace, if it was EKY and SKY, a member, you would have had a hype top grand finals.
Yeah,
you would have had some screaming. You would have had it. But the narrative then it would have to be in place, and I think you can have boring grand finals in Melee. I think we've had it before. But you don't just need crews to be involved, or it just naturally gravitates that way. So I think, yeah, if you want to make that happen, I do not discourage you to try. But yeah, that one's more of that's a harder nut to crack for sure.
I'm
And
going to do it. I'm going to do it, Eric. It's going to happen. It's going to happen somehow. Don't know when it's going to happen, but
dude, fuck yeah.
I have control over so much, but I don't have control over who's in grand finals. You know what I mean? There's so many things so many moving pieces involved there. I do think turning the lights down, I do think having the entrances and stuff, that gives a spectacle of like, I need to watch this, like I want to watch this. And I think that we got there for the top 8. And I think, man, I hate COVID-19, but if not for that junk, we might have been closer to it at the second big boot. But back to what I was going on, but about that Summer Smash event. That's still my favorite event. I want that level of intensity during that crew battle to be to carry on to some top 8s in Big Blue Showdown 2. I want to, but just even with that grand finals, dude, it was such a special moment for me, to hand you the belt, because you helped me so much. Ace came down and robbed the belt from us and held it over our heads for so many months, and you came over and you and I hugged. We may or may not have cried. I won't.
I'm tearing up reliving it. So.
I mean, it was such a great moment, man. And handing you the belt, it's still it's my favorite. It was my it's been my greatest pleasure in all this was handing you that belt.
Well, I think at that point, I was really looking for reassurance that because I was really suffering. I was really putting in a lot of hard work to better myself, and to have just a taste of it's going to be worth it was, yeah, that was a good high. That was a good level of, that was a good win for me. On like a, for lack of a better word, like a spiritual level. Like it was just good for my soul. Knowing that, because after playing the game for 12 years, well, I guess like 11 at that point, I mean, technical, and depriving myself of it so I could go work on myself, and spend time with myself and look myself in the mirror. Because Smash for the longest time was my escape from looking at myself in the mirror. It was a place where I belonged, but could spend my time and energy on other people instead of me. To put Smash on the back burner for real, and not just kind of do it, and then be able to return to it and get a little win. It let me know that things are going to be all right, and it was all going to be worth it. And I was able to, from there, keep losing weight and get my financial situation back together, prove to myself that I can learn how to code and all these other things. And that win was very special to me. It was a good mile marker along that journey.
And a lot of people don't understand too. After I talk about that event, but on top of that event, that Monday I went to the school and dropped off, a truckload of clothes and a few $100, to a family that's house had burned down, just a little bit before that, and we didn't, not a dime of venue fees, went to anything, it was just one of those events that, I went in the hole on when it came to money, but it was at a school. They let us use it for free. I remember I was just out man hours, a little bit of money I spent on getting some stuff ready for it. But, it gave me so much, spiritually just to have that in that moment. I remember it was over with, and there was this guy that messaged me, and he's like, "Hey man, I left a controller. Can you find it?" And we found it, and he's like, "What?" He's like, "Well, if you come to an event," and I'm like, "Dude, I'll just mail it to you, whatever." It was, and it was like, he's like, "I'll pay you for it," and I'm like, "No, just," I was just so, I'm just, dude, anything that anybody wants, you Sky Boys, I'll help you out. Don't let any. I've already, I've made everybody in the state believe that I hate your freaking guts for the last, 90,
so beautiful
90 days. I'll help you. I'll help you guys out, and it's a wild time, man. It was a wild time, but yeah, we got off the tracks on that. Well, I don't think we got. We're just now getting on the tracks.
A quick note. Something I did want to make a point to follow up that tournament, and just how it stood out is one of my favorites. Is I'm sure I've been to hundreds of tournaments. I feel like that's not an understatement at this point. I feel like it has to be true. And I still remember Love's Last Stand in Athens, Ohio, February 2009. I remember it like it was almost yesterday. Just the emotions, feelings, running into people, the venue. I can almost describe the venue to a T. Sitting and watching matches and stuff. So many tournaments are a blur. They don't. That's not at fault to really them or anything. I think it's above and beyond when you're able to capture something special at an event, and I think you were able to do that to some degree with that tournament in particular. So, not all tournaments need that. That's not a requirement, but the idea that you strive to push the mold of like having something as special as like hype top eights, a hype crew battle that you saw. It wasn't even your plan from the get-go, but you saw the opportunity and you hopped on board that train to like, okay, apparently Pike's not biting at this, this message that was meant for Pike. I'm now going to poke at other people who are, wrestling their jimmies, and it worked. That could have easily just fell by the wayside and never became anything. And yeah, you wrote it for whatever reason, even if it was just to poke at people, if it was the equivalent high of Soup Bean sending a Shrek dick to someone. I don't know, why you continued to egg on, but it was different, something we haven't had in the Smash scene, and it didn't come from a toxic place like a lot of people assumed it did. Maybe that's why everyone's so sensitive to it, because everyone thought it was toxic, but yeah.
There's a little.
Just want to make that note.
There's a little toxicity in there. Just a hint. Just a hint of it.
I could see a pinch, just because it has to be annoying to get that crazy kind of feedback, to calling out Pike County in a playful manner, and then having everyone just be really pissed off about it for no reason. That has to be on surface level annoying. I can look past a lot of things and process it and be like, yo, yeah, this person's going through this deep emotional thing, but surface level, it has to be initially annoying.
I mean,
God, I could go for a bowl of chili right now. Hey, buddy.
Oh man,
all started with the bowl of chili, baby.
Dude, that was a
call me Chili Bowl.
That was an interesting. I need to look something up, because I remember. I've got to find this.
Yeah, I'm cold. I'm just gonna keep turning my heater on and off throughout the night.
Down, I got you. We saw that nobody in East. You probably can't. You probably can't see this right. Oh, it's not there. Let me see here.
You can share screens. Help me actually. Yeah, journal keeping's a good idea, Tasty. for the first time in like 15 years, I actually just wrote in a journal last night. And it's funny because the first page is something I wrote when I was like 15 in a red crayon. And then the next entry is like 16 years later, I actually write in it again. And so I think it's a good practice to have. Memory is so.
This will probably shut down the stream for a second, Eric, because of my crappy internet. But I'm gonna try to do it. I'll do it at like super low quality.
Let
me pull it up here.
Oh, okay. I'm such a peepaw, dude. Peepaw Eric.
Where to go?
Just watch all this extra. All this fancy Discord stuff. Yeah, Tasty. I hope I find your Smash Journal in a thrift shop someday, man. You ever go to thrift stores and they have, I don't know if it's a thrift store, but like there was this one shop in Lexington that I was at that was adjacent to this coffee shop called Coffee Times. And we just have random ass journals and stuff for sale that people, like a diary that people would just, I don't know how they got there, but they were selling them. Hell, I'd buy someone's life, you know, from like their raw memories from thrift shop. It's kind of a cool concept to me. So I see you pulling up a video. I can at least see that on your screen.
Announcement. Yeah, that's what I paid for. But
I wish a lot of people could have grown up during that era of wrestling and like had that influence, because that was such a high.
But do you see the? Here you go. Do you see the poster on the wall there, the handmade poster, the worst places to live?
I can barely see. It's just a glare on the screen. You're not actually sharing that particular screen. You're sharing your Discord stuff. So you might have to change it to a different window or
everybody else can see it, Eric. Everybody else can see it. It's your fault.
Oh wait. Oh, did you have it on the actual stream? I'm sorry, yeah. Bro. I was like,
no wait. Look in your Discord now. You should be able to see it.
I could have unlazied this and just looked at the freaking worst places to live. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let me
love that so much. You can put it back the way you had it. I was just being a dumb and like looking at Discord and not the stream because I have your stream paused. Because why am I gonna watch that? You know.
Let me pull up the.
Let's get this. God, it was so good. I got thrills watching that shit.
It's gonna take me. Okay. We're almost back. Yeah, there we go. It works now. Okay. Castle Siege for Jim. But yeah, I remember thinking that when we tried that, and for some reason this always comes, every conversation I have comes back to this Pikeville EKY stuff. I remember there was a point where I just saw that the Pikeville. I remember there was a point that I realized that the Pikeville thing, it's not going to get any further than it did, because we had posted a few videos
shame.
And
disappointed.
And Cody had like typed on there, Haoni, he's like, you guys know, he's like, are you guys going to beat this joke to death? It's like they just weren't taking the bait. So we had to join forces. To take on the world, EKY versus everyone. And it's been fun. And you know, you mentioned when I broke kayfabe going into the whole going into that crew battle, we got everybody together and we talked, and I just let them know, like, guys, I mean, you know, we're going to have some freaking fun today. You know, this is our opportunity. You know, I am a TV producer. I've produced wrestling for a year or two now. Eric goes home and watches me all the time on wrestling, on AMW TV.
I do.
I mean, and this is an absolute. This is what I wanted to happen. We created this, and I don't dislike any of you guys. And I think we're going to go out here and have a fun time today. And but I remember going up to it. Garrett was like, man, I just want you to know after this is over, win or lose, I think we need to step away from this for a while because stuff is getting pretty. Jeremy said he was in the Sky Chat. We're not allowed in the Sky Chat. I don't know if you knew that. We weren't allowed in. Jeremy was like, they are attacking our good name or something, and Jeremy was like, guys, he's wanting you to do this. He's wanting you to do this. This is all a big charade. Like you're. They're like, no. He is serious. But that's the whole thing is making people believe something. And the people that got so tore up, Eric, they're the same ones that when you post something about wrestling, they're like, that's fake, right? That's fake, right? That ain't real. But then I lob up an underhanded pitch and they take a swing, baby. They take the swing. It happens. And I look. That's one of the things that I've missed because there's no. I had some plans. I had some plans to expand that trash talk into Bourbon State, into doing some stuff with Bourbon, into doing some stuff with other states to get them involved. And I was so looking forward to it, but we all kind of got our chain yanked, the rug pulled out from under us, and it's going to be, I don't know, maybe with the vaccine on the way, maybe we're back sooner rather than later.
Yeah, I just try to stay present, and yeah. I didn't know what to do with myself when we first got quarantined because my whole world was at that time smashing DDR, and I just moved to a place on my own. So it's not like I had a social, organic social encounters anymore like I had at Smash and DDR and work. So I was living alone was a godsend at that point because I could come back and recalibrate, but COVID happened. And I was like, what the hell do I do with myself? So take that energy that you have or that you had or whatever, try to get it back if you lost it or freeze it and put it in some storage somewhere. Because once we do get back, there's still plenty of time. I know we said time's finite and all that stuff, but this is the point where we have plenty of it still to where it's virtually infinite and you have time to still make all that shit happen. And it could still be as big of a hit. Hell, it might even be a bigger hit. I know one thing. I'm going to give some pretty gnarly hugs when things are, more normal again. And I'm going to have a level of appreciation I'll carry with me and not take as many things for granted, at least for that first year. I can't predict how I'm emotionally going to feel throughout life going forward because it may be sadly something that we lose sense of. Maybe not. I don't know. But I'm going to try to hold it near and dear to really appreciate, because I already appreciated life already, but to be even more grateful. And, yeah, hug the homie hella tight.
Yeah, I mean, and I think so many we've got opportunities in front of us to really really have some the great poet Michael Kiefer of the 80s metal band Cinderella, says you don't know what you got till it's gone, and even tournaments. I mean, even to a bigger extent, with Benson in Indiana, the way that's went over the week. We should hug each other a little harder. We should have all the more respect for the time, respect for our time and our peers' time. We should be in a position where we've not had the opportunity to commune together, and man, don't take that for granted. Tasty's in here saying time of opportunity and intervention and reinvention. You know, we're trying down here, dude. You know, a couple weeks ago I had Soup Bean drinking piss right where I stand. You know, we are trying so hard to keep some level of just being here, being present. And it's tough. It's tough. You know, we had weeklies back, and Tasty says that's a deterrent, not reinvention. Hey, look, and you know, it's again, we got together, raised some money to help somebody in need, and hit that goal, and Soup Bean gulped it down and said, "I'm sorry, Mom." You know, he told everybody, but it's timing is going to be a weird thing. Soup Bean says that first event back is going to be magical, and I don't know. It feels to me like, are we going to, you know, is it going to be one of these things where we just slowly slide into it, and then, or is it, you know, the first event that we have, it's just going to be balls to the wall, and everybody just shows up. Dude, right now, just don't tweet about it. I don't know if you saw it, but a few weeks ago I posted the video that Soup Bean and Tasty took from Big Blue Showdown, and you know, we got like 100 people in there, and they're and Soup Bean's like, F the CDC. And Tasty was doing it too, and I posted it, and I was like, thanks to everybody who came out to the weekly last week. Just trying to get one of these lonely Ohio cucks to take the bait and say, oh, we need to cancel these people right now. But no one took the bait.
Gotta increase. You gotta boost your platform, dude. You gotta boost your reach. That's definitely some good ass bait to hook someone with. Holy shit, that's actually really good.
I'm so upset.
I wish I'd seen that. I want to dig for that. Shit. Yeah, expectations versus reality. Like what's really gonna happen? I don't know. That's why I just try to stay present, and every day is like, what am I doing myself, you know? It took about a month or two. I was playing DDR in my kitchen on a yoga mat and blanket the first week.
Yeah,
then I just played nothing.
It was a wild time. My wife had a hard time with it, just mentally, dealing with being cooped up in the house, cabin fever time. I popped it. I popped it in the chat. I popped the link to that tweet.
I'm watching it now. I also put a link in the chat earlier of
YouTube channel.
Just another not a YouTube channel, but it's a video that for whatever reason has my channel name at the end. But it's a video of the closest thing we ever got to like promos and stuff back in the day of Brawl 2011 with Metaflare, who was my ultra homie not growing up, but like during the early days of like.
Was that we
graduated high school together?
The Ric Flair promo deal.
Yeah. So I'm sure you've seen it, but God, perfect world. You all would collab, and it would be some beautiful stuff. He's really good at improv, and he went down the whole like, you know, history of wrestling for a while. Like just went down that rabbit hole back in when him and I roomed together in college, and it was just unreal. But yeah, let me watch this clip. Hello.
But yeah, it was. I'm so upset someone didn't get mad. I wanted someone to get mad, but no. I think maybe it's one. I was talking to.
Fuck off.
When I was talking to Jeremy's like, what's the most maddest you've got anybody, and or the most heat that you've got? And I remember the time when James Soup Bean went wild in bourbon and got banned for like the third time or something. But he was going at it with Mason Berry, talking about how the CoroNAL only had one bathroom, and he kept saying the F word over and over and over again, and they banned him. And I posted like a fake news release. Like I drafted it up like legit. The same template that I used to say like, you know, Big Blue Showdown will go on as scheduled and stuff like that. I made a news release and it was like QCS parts ways with Soup Bean. And I said like, because of, you know, his actions, he's not on the team anymore. And it was a big charade. You know what I mean? But everybody believed it. Everybody's like, I can't believe that he's finally done it this time. That Soup Bean, he's finally done it. And Eric, I was looking back at the comments on that, and I saw Jeremy was like, someone's like, what did he do? What did he do? And Jeremy's like, he didn't do anything. This is the same old stuff that they're always doing. They're just trying to make you guys believe this, but it's not true.
Yeah. I've always recognized that you guys were walking this really like just this gray area of like too far versus just right, of pushing people, pressing buttons, getting some sort of emotional response for the better. I mean, just giving some livelihood to the scene, like being a fucking kid every once in a while, sharing some dick. That sounds awful. Sharing some Shrek dick. Oh, what did I just say? Anyways, but just being a fucking man-child and just, you know, cutting up and goofing off and laughing at yourself and fuck the CDC and all these other things that make you like just have fun and shoot the shit and enjoy yourself. And but trying to make sure we don't take it too far and that we're respectful enough to one another and still have a good community worth of people to, you know, come back to, and not promote actual toxic behavior, because some people get the wrong idea. Yo, it's time to just, if he could share Shrek dick, I could, you know, what dick can't we, you know, and just endless Shrek dick, endless dick. But
yeah, I mean, it's
yeah.
I think it's a you know, I think we've done a really good job of walking that line. I will say this, I walk the line a lot. You know, they just said corporate razor in the chat. I walk the line a little more than James does, and Soup Bean and Ray, they don't walk the line, man. Like you know, and that's part of what I enjoy.
They step right over the line. They like, fuck you. They go by it,
dude. But I mean, I remember going to that first bourbon, and I was with Ray, and you were with me. We were following Ray's run, and like I would be behind him, like, and every time he'd take a stock, I'd just start crotch chopping nonstop, and you were like, oh my God, no, oh my God.
Bizarre how much society's changed in a short time, and how we made new adjustments and whatnot. Like the language that we used to use 10 years ago versus the language we use now, and just the way we behave, like, is just different. I often say that, like, a lot more like rural areas are like a few years behind that sort of standard or whatever of like where we're at, just like society based, for better and for worse at the same time. Because I think, one, sometimes we just, you know, willy nilly just change how we view things without actual good consideration, and we do it because we're pressured to. We're not actually taking the time to, like, okay, is this really for the better? Do we really adopt these practices? Is this really protecting people, or is this actually hurting people in disguise? But like, there are some places they're just like, fuck all that. And occasionally I enjoy a good dose of fuck all that. And just sharing the dick instead and crotch chopping. And I, you know, pissing a few people off along the way. But still having a heart of gold and like treating others with respect. Like, you wouldn't actually treat someone like a piece of shit, you know. You actually care about you know, thy neighbor or whatever. Like, it's just a weird dance. It's fun to watch, and it's refreshing to see occasionally. So there's always a part of me that when I was like begging, like, ah, oh, don't, please, no more dick and bourbon, like, stop it, like, give Jeremy a break, no more dick. And but there's also part of me that's like, I'm laughing behind the scenes, like, I'm like, not, I'm like frustrated, but like, god damn it, I know it's funny, but like, you know, how much can we afford to do it? And it's almost like.
And let's take Luigi Go Short. I mean, as much as hell as he's caught and stuff, and I love every second of it. What would the Kentucky Melee group on Facebook for the last several months be without him in there doing that? You know what I mean? Like, he is continually creating content and controversy. It's wild. But hey, buddy, if he's still in the chat, I remember he said when we were first meeting, and man, since that tournament when we went to that tournament where we went to the Hazard folks went to Pikeville, we went to B-Dubs, watched Gonzaga lose a basketball game, choke at the end of it. I swear to God, still pissed. But I still remember just like from that point forward, that night we started a group chat that has literally, it has been active every single day since that day. And there's, you know, people talk about the Sky chat, the Lex chat, Louisville chat, and all these other chats.
I chat hella lit. I'm sad that I have to mute it.
Dude, it stays. You know, we've got, and but I remember, hey buddy, saying, like, James like had the Shrek picture and he's like, hey, you want to see a picture? And showed it to him. And hey buddy was like, that's when I knew that these were my people. He's like, he was like I just knew from that point forward that, you know, these are my dudes. These are my dudes. I know it's not for everybody. And Tasty says that Luigi Go Short makes him want to play Melee less locally. So maybe that's the there's at least some negative shenanigans there.
Yeah, and that's obviously not good. I think I would like to understand what those feelings that, you know, he creates in that like when they're negative like that, like what people are really, really feeling, and not just have people just yelling at him and in response. Like, I actually want to truly understand, have like some good conversation about what's going on there. Like, because when I pass through and I see stuff like that, and I see I'm Trump's favorite Luigi. What? Trump doesn't give a shit about you, and he obviously knows that. Like, he's playing a character quite like Kobe Covington plays the Trump character, and it gets him makes him a lot of money in UFC. He's just inspired by Kobe Covington, as far as I'm aware, right? And I think that's what he mentioned that as well. He's a big fan, and so like, I don't know the people that are getting mad, like it's not obvious that it's not a character, or if it's just like, okay, I recognize it as a character, but it's still sick content, and I can understand that being an honest take. I'm just trying to understand, like, what's off limits to joke about and whatnot. Like, should there be things that are off limits to joke about? Should we demonize someone if they are a Trump fan? Because when you had him on, and I saw things like, "What are you doing?" Like, you know, why have him on or whatever? It's like, you can't just mute people. That's so inhumane. Like, we can't actually just silence people because we don't want to associate with them at all. I understand that we want to have a non-toxic community, and that's, yeah, we very much should strive for that. But I just want to understand it as a whole.
I think in general, it's just the Trump stuff, man. I mean, if he was in there saying that he was Obama's favorite Luigi, nobody would care. You know, it's Trump is such a polarizing figure. Uh, like Tasty says, I said I see someone mouthing off about Trump in politics in this mass group, and I'm like, cool, it's Ray again. You know, we've already got that. We've already seen this story before. You can get in the EKY chat, and we had. But yeah, it's just I saw a lot of what I was doing with him, and he basically copped to it. You know, he's like, I do it because it pisses people off. He's probably a little more. You know how you said that I raise a little hell, but I don't. There's generally no toxicity involved. I think there's a little bit of. I think Cody embraces the toxicity a little more than I do, and
I think he admits to it.
I think he does. I think he's the most self-aware person to do it. He realized he said himself he's a Trump supporter, and he would
doesn't even know what the hell's going on with Trump,
and he would tweet about it, and people would get mad. So he's like, I'll just use this to my advantage.
Yeah, I don't want to like spill all of it because like he messaged me privately and was like, "Thank you for recognizing this as a character," and he's like, "This wasn't even meant to piss people off. It was a joke about something." He saw that it rustled some jimmies, kind of like how you rustled jimmies with, Louisville and the rest of Kentucky, and he was like, "Why? Why are people getting mad about this?" So he just kind of went with the character, and I guess I don't know if it's like background in wrestling or what it is, but like the persona was just obvious to me at first that I didn't have the moment to like just get upset with it and like you're just being disrespectful human piece of shit. And I don't lump Trump supporters in that category. I just don't. I feel like there's way more nuance to it than that. And if his words were conveying that somehow, then I guess I would understand it. And I was trying to understand like, was he doing that? I just didn't catch wind of it. So
wild time.
Yeah.
But I mean, I just I'm trying to keep things stewing up here to. Dude, like I think I was telling Jeremy the other day that I was just in the shower the other day, just practicing promos, just what I want to say,
Wait, where at?
In the shower, baby, in the shower.
In the shower. I thought you said chat. I'm like, it's kind of weird to be like text chatting some stuff. Real quick, I don't know how long Corey's gonna stick around, but shout out to Corey. I haven't talked to that person in a very long time, and I really hope you're doing well. So just wanted a quick aside. That it's been probably years since I've had a conversation with him.
He threw a beat boop your way. So that's always good. But yeah, dude, I was in the shower the other day, just working out. What I can say. I got some stuff. I'm really looking at the way that I can always. I think I'm always trying to think ahead. I think now that I've got the studio here, even when things kick back up, I think that this is going to be the home to EKY's weekly. And then I'm going to focus on the regional stuff. I'm not going to do an EKY monthly and deal with an EKY weekly too.
Yeah, I remember you mentioning that. No, I think that's good. I think, one, it's in-house. You're going to get so many more like liberties to do what you want. But yeah, it already takes a lot of energy to do the monthly stuff, and so you being like wanting to put that type of energy into having something bigger elsewhere, and knowing that you're capable of doing it already is probably even more motivating. And just wondering how you could even do that better because you're already doing it good. You're already doing it good enough. You could just get complacent and stop pushing the meta. Why don't you? But you seem to keep even trying to reinvent and do it better each time. And challenging as that is,
I guess I'm not. I'll let everybody in on a treat here. I think someone should be running a weekly. We used to have a weekly. Devin ran it, but Devin is he's back to working at a TV station, and he's kind of busy. It's hard to get that going. So Ray ran one for a little while. He's changing the format that he does his shop, so he's not ran one. I think and I was already going to weeklies and playing them, and then working on a monthly. And plus, a monthly in Hazard, we got like 30 people or so. 30 is, we've had over 50 before. We've had 40 some before, but typically we were in the 25 to 30 range. And, I could do that, or I could really focus. I got this weekly in my house. I don't have to drive. I don't have to set things up. It's just, hey, have a weekly at the house, really invest in the scene of Eastern Kentucky, get some new players out. And even when we're having the COVID restricted weeklies, we've had players come out that had never been to Eastern Kentucky, players that came out for the first time to my house to play here in the studio. So it's fun. It's fun.
How the hell?
And I'm looking forward to it, to doing that. But I think that when things open back up, Queen City Showdown will be a weekly. And then the other stuff, I'll space it out kind of sparingly. But I wanted to have a Lexington monthly. Thought about that. Then I thought about bi-monthly. But the more I think about it, man, I want to go down to freaking Tennessee and just take over. I want to go up to Cincinnati.
Oh shit, in Tennessee?
I want to like we've got Ohio, Indiana, Kentucky, Tennessee that I think there's, especially the Tennessee market. I don't think we have enough Tennessee players coming up to Kentucky.
Strangely enough, as long as I've been playing Smash around the Midwest, I know Tennessee's not Midwest. I know Kentucky's technically not really, but we consider ourselves, I believe. I've never been to a Tennessee tournament in 12 years.
Yeah.
So, give me a reason to go.
I mean, dude, and the thing is, like, I could be to Tennessee just as quick as I can be to Lexington. I can be to Knoxville about the same time it takes me to get to Lexington. I can be to Knoxville faster than I can be at Louisville. And I was hoping, and they did to an extent. I think the Sky Boys, where they're right there on I-75. I think they've got an opportunity. Yeah. I think they've got an opportunity to really. And I mean, it's one of those things. I think we all eat at the same table. Jeremy's been really helpful to me. I've tried to be. Trey and I, we try to help each other and stay out of each other's way at the same time. I've talked to the folks up in the Northern Kentucky, Southern Ohio folks. Talked to those, trying to get something worked out. But the thing about the first Big Blue Showdown, I realized that I could myself, not having anything to do with Lexington. I'm not a Lexington player, but I made some calls, found a hotel ballroom in Lexington that was doable. I have all my equipment, and I knew that I had I could just roll up there, have this tournament, people would come, and I was able to at least break even and have a little bit of success. To me, I don't see why I can't do that in Nashville, why I can't do that in Knoxville. Why can't I say, hey, call the hotels, hey, I need a ballroom, and they say, okay, well, here you go. It's, $500. Okay. I need $50, $10 venue fees, and I'm good. $50, $10 venue fees, and my expenses are paid for. I take my crew, and we just go down there and raise hell. I don't see why I can't do that, and I plan on doing that.
Yeah, I think you have to be more strategic with it is all. on top of how strategic you already have to be to run these events. But I think that what I mean by that is there are a lot of reasons why you get a lot of people to come to Kentucky tournaments is because you've established yourself in Kentucky. So if you can get us to come down to Tennessee, I'm game. I can't make the drive. My car's a piece of shit, but like I'll hitch a ride. And if you get Sky to go, and you get whoever comes with you from EKY to go, and maybe get some people from Lexington to go, and you can show that those people are showing up, and maybe pull some people in that way.
Yeah, and I do, and I think it's making contacts. I wouldn't go down there to, I wouldn't go down there to host a tournament until I went down there to play in a tournament. And commentate in the tournament.
Yes.
Oh, big brain stuff, baby, big brain. But and I've got the Red Falcon. I had him commentate the last event. Dr. Copter came up. They brought Atlas. Gyro came up. PR'd. He was in the top 8. Talked to his family. To me, I've got those people in, that came up and had a good time. I was on Red Falcon's podcast. So when it comes time, go down there, play in a tournament, talk to some people, chat them up and let them know, hey, I run tournaments, I have a stream, and then come back down and do it. I don't want to just, Tasty put in here, he says, I wouldn't be hostile at first, No, I'd go down there and play, meet the people, and then I would come and take their freaking money, baby. Take it all.
Crotch chopping on your way out.
Yeah.
This guy came back, so I think they're a lot good with it. Oh, no, I think there's a good crew of people, and they've came up multiple times to Kentucky. I don't know who goes down there. I know I have, and I know people have. But yeah, I've met some really awesome people from Tennessee, and I think it's great that you're willing to take that initial hit to go and network. And I think that's so valuable. We're so grassroots, like we need to do it, and people get they get a little weird with outsiders and a new guy on the block. Who's this? They get kind of cliquey, and I'm not sure why that is completely, but I haven't thought too much into it. But it seems to be the case, and I think if you can go and establish a good relationship with some of those players, and they can vouch for you.
And get ready for this. Get ready for this. Okay, I know Nashville's one I want to do. Music City Showdown. Just listen to it. Music City Showdown. That's it, baby. That is it. Nashville. I want to do Nashville. Want to do Nashville, Knoxville. Already got plans of trying to do something in Cincy, and I've got some connections up there. Either with Dragon Squad or up there by myself and talking mad crap about them while they come in. Either way, I'm excited to do some bigger things, and it's just a matter of when it can happen. But I think of it like that. I've invested so much money into this. Basically every dime that I've got out of this, I put it back into it. But that means that I can go to one of these ballrooms. I've got my lights. I've got my cameras. I've got backdrops and tablecloth stuff that make it look legit. And it's just a wild time. Now I just need to pay for my help. The people that help me put it on, and pay for the room and whatever else we got to do. It's fun. It's fun. I'm looking forward to seeing where we can go. Ray has posted in the chat several times. This is a funny story. At the Hell Chat the other day, Ray brought cigars and he was smoking them on stream while they were commentating and stuff. And
on what chat?
We had the Hell stream the other day, the Hell stream and the Hell Chat where Soup Bean drank piss, and
I saw that clip. I'm a little out of touch on what the hell the Hell Chat is.
We had a Hell stream. This was the last. It was earlier in the week. God King Andy Bashir said that he was shutting everything down on Friday.
Lord and Savior. Okay.
You know, so Thursday is when we have our weekly. So we just said, guys, we're just gonna friggin' burn junk to the ground and see what happens on the way out. You know, and I was like, James jokingly said, "Hey, if we get $250 for Volt's family, I'll drink piss on stream." And I went ahead and said, before he actually agreed to it, I already tweeted it because he said it once. It was a joke, but I said, "Yeah, man, we got you. Don't worry, dude. We won't get there." Then we got there. We got the last $10 in the last stock of Grands. The last stock of Grands, the $10 came through to punch it to $250.
I watched the clip. I definitely saw him drink the piss. I wasn't sure why exactly he was drinking the piss, but
it was
this whole month or so has been a blur because I'm working night shift for temporary, so everything's a blur right now. But yeah,
if we raised $250 for Volt's family, he would drink piss. But anyway, Ray, you know, we just did not care. We talked trash on stream. I was in the bracket twice. I was in the bracket as Razor and as Volt, and on the Volt bracket, I had to use a Belmont the entire time. So I was like, there was never a second that I wasn't playing a game. It was ridiculous. But then Ray brought these cigars, and he's like, "Are you sure I can smoke down here and stuff?" And I'm like, "Yeah, dude, I don't care, you know." And he was like going around to get a lighter.
Smells so good.
I was going. He found a lighter, and he lit them up and smoked them on stream. And I come up, this is downstairs in my house. Everybody leaves, and I clean up and go upstairs. And Tiffany, my wife, looks at me and she goes, "Why did you ask Ray to smoke cigars downstairs?" And I'm like, and I said, "Tiffany, it's a hell stream." And she's like, "I get that, but I mean, did he not want to? Why were you actively coercing him into smoking cigars on stream?" Statistics, no idea what you all are talking about, but I am now aroused. I feel you, man. I feel you. But no, my wife, we are on different wavelengths with this stuff, and we have some pretty interesting conversations. I'll tell you this. My wife is the perfect foil to my madness.
Yeah.
Because if she wasn't there to ground me, to keep me, keep my feet on the solid ground, dude, I would have I would lose $1,000 at every tournament we had. I would be giving away sounds
like a good initial investment to me.
I would be broke right now. I would be homeless. I wouldn't be in this nice.
You underestimate the power of Patreon and the Kentucky spending power.
Oh yeah, man! I get $15 a month off Patreon. I know it's.
It would have been jacked up if you just.
Yeah, it's
ignore the wife.
It's
no. I get it. Yeah,
it's wild. Yeah, but it's crazy, man. It's crazy the whole how she kind of keeps me in check on stuff. But I do enjoy investing and pushing in pushing forward with stuff, and I tell myself every time I buy something else for the stream or for whatever, I'm like, I'm good now. I don't have to buy anything else, and then something else comes along.
No, I always look for something like, well, why do you do this? Well, why do you? I mean, you could say what you want to say about the mic and stuff or whatever you want to finish, but I have more of a loaded question. Like, why do this whole thing? At some point, I want you to. You want to answer, man, or if you want to finish your spiel.
No, I'm saying like this microphone is like $400. Like it's ridiculous the amount of.
I'll trade you.
Yeah, baby. But if you want to know why I do it, it's really like and I'm not going to give a sappy answer because that's already went over and over again. I do it for the community. I do it for the people. that is a part of it.
No. What's your selfish reason for doing it? Like why?
I mean, because that is a part of it, and that's been hashed out. But to me, this is, I am an artist, and this is a creative outlet for me. Like I am, and this is in the whole scheme of things. Razor is like a persona that I've created, and I try to find ways to express myself with that. And it's crazy, how deep you can get into this stuff. With my wife, one time I was like, I feel like I've got two lives. Like I feel like I am the dude, comes home and my kids run up and hug me, and we watch Star Wars with my kids on the recliner and take a Sunday afternoon nap. That's what I did. I got up this morning, I went to church, got us a bucket of Kentucky Fried Chicken, came home, had dinner at the table, and I laid with my little boy and watched Star Wars until I fell asleep, and he crawled off and started raising hell somewhere else, woke me up from my nap. And then I came down here to do this. But I can remember walking into I'm a teacher, and I had a teaching a week-long thing in Louisville at the God House, where it was like a bunch of trainings and stuff. And I remember going to that, and through the day I was checking in with the family and doing the teacher thing, and learning, getting good at my job. And then after that, I would roll over to Waifu and walk in and tell everybody to go to hell, and there were pieces of trash. And it's like, it was just like another world for me, to go in and to go to, you're like, hey, come, there's a steamboat tournament tonight. Like, I don't know what the hell that is, but I'll come. I met a dude, and just teabag the dude in the first round, just the hell of it. And I'm like, yeah, just get over it, man. Get over it. Go to a bar and make fun of Phil, homegrown Phil.
I remember that. Oh, I actually remember that. That's when we got barbecue that week too, right? We met up and got barbecue.
I think so. I think so.
Yeah, that's a good week. I remember. I partially remember that. Yeah.
Yep.
I think that's a good enough summation. And I just wanted to hear it because that's what I suspected. That's because that's what I see in the results that you, that you produce so far, is always trying to raise the bar, always trying something different. Like, it's an outlet, and that's a big reason why I compete, because it's a creative outlet for me, and it's to better myself and whatnot, but also to express myself within the confines of a video game. And there's definite ways to do that. But no, I think you're doing it for great reasons then, and I think it shows. So I'm excited to see it keep pushing. I hope COVID doesn't kill off the drive. I hope this doesn't drag out for so long. You already almost made it a year, so I hope we can reignite all the fires, not just yours, but even my own. And whatnot. So,
and back to the creative outlet thing. The whole, it started out as wrestling, and that really had a lot. That really had a lot to do with it. I was a big wrestling fan, and everybody, you grow up and you watch Stone Cold and The Rock, and if you remember the old days, the good old days of wrestling, in the late 90s, something that I think that will never be achieved again because cell phones have destroyed it. But I can remember, Stone Cold, going up and holding the belt to the crowd before it, and you see all the little cheap cameras that you could get, and you see all the flash bulbs and stuff go
flashes,
off.
Yeah.
God,
yeah.
It was just so awesome, and you saw that it was you just felt like it was so big, and you relive yourself, reciting those promos and stuff like that I did. And then I got into being a wrestling producer for a while, and I was a commentator and did interviews and stuff. But I was always the guy asking the questions. I was never the guy, and because I didn't, really. I kind of in the back of my head wanted to be one of the guys, on there talking trash and telling people stuff, but it wasn't my place. And I think that this really gave me that opportunity because I would be in these situations where I'm interviewing a wrestler and we're trying to get a take for TV, and it takes 5-6 times, and they keep screwing it up. And I'm like, spit it out, dude. Just get out there and tell them what you want to tell them. Put over what you need to put over and be done with it. And I remember when we did that first promo, me, Ray, and James, I'm just like, dude, come by the school. I got cameras there. We'll go in the hallway.
It was done at the school.
Yeah, we did it in the school next to the
hallway. You did it in the hallway?
Yeah. So and I just put it up, and I said, okay, we'll practice it. We'll do one practice shot. And that was all it took. It was just it was the first take. And we did the fake thing where you called. You had the little likewise cameo phone call at the end. Captain Puff says he's still waiting to give that belt to someone. And another thing that I think was a nice little touch to everything was the championship belt.
Yep.
I thought that was a nice touch. And when I was when I started talking to Dragon Squad about trying to get something going with them and just get some kind of discourse going with us in the Cincinnati crowd, because there's a lot of good players up there, and they come to some bourbons and stuff, but to me, I mean, it's even quicker to get from Cincinnati to Lexington. There's no reason why they shouldn't be beating Lexington's door down, in my opinion. So I was talking with them, and Momsa was picking my brain. She's CEO of Dragon Squad, and she was like, where did you get the championship belt at? Where did you get this custom controller at for Big Blue Showdown? Those were the things that kind of stuck out, or I really liked how when someone signed up for Big Blue Showdown, you put out a picture with their name on it, and you're like, hey, they signed up.
Yep.
A lot of those, things were, it's just another creative outlet. I designed a wrestling belt that people want to hold. I designed some graphics and stuff like that, or get a, something that you can look at that was created, that they can be a part of. That's one of
something tangible. Jeremy was kind of doing that for a little bit with almost like superlatives and stuff for Smash tournaments. That was pretty cool. That was something special that I hadn't seen elsewhere.
Like what, like stock of the night or stuff like that?
Mm-hmm.
Or
yeah, like sportsmanship award or stuff like that. Who's a little bitch award, like,
Yeah.
No, but one of you talking about what was the name of that person? Momsta?
Yeah.
Which
Momsa.
one?
Momsa.
It's the mom of Momsa. So Momsa having an interest in like, I like how you did the belts, I like how you did the this player's coming, all this stuff, like just to get people talking about the event. It very much reminds me of Boomer Me on Smashboards, and just how we would always have an ongoing thread before an event, like months before the event, just talking. Just, every other day, sometimes multiple posts a day, just people always coming in and checking this thread and just being like, hey, just building hype around the event just by having banter about it. Just, we're so spread among social media now that it's hard to have a centralized place to like really want to talk, even though we have like Facebook events, or you can't really do any conversation on Smash GG. And I'm wondering if there's a taste of that in, how much you put into like the build up to an event. Like, is that why you've had some success too? Because for what little we had in Brawl days, I think having Smashboards was a blessing in disguise at the time. I don't think it would work now in today's age, but like it did then, and I think it did it pretty well for build up to tournaments and hype. Even post tournaments, people would always post shout outs post tournament, just threads and threads, or posts and posts of shout outs to all the players that showed up. And I never see that now. It's just on to the next one. We're just, and where it's not oversaturation. Yeah, there's a lot more tournaments going on, but hell, I was going to tournaments almost every weekend, even back then. We still had shout outs and a lot of like pre-tournament build up organically just in the forums.
Well,
I'm wondering how we can recreate that.
I guess Smashboards was centralized. It's a place that people went just for Smash, like Twitter. Mm-hmm. There's so much friggin' stuff going on. Yeah. I made the mistake during a stream last week when I was streaming that tournament run for Dragon Squad. I opened up TCMK's Twitter stream on feed. I don't know if you follow our boy. I opened it up on stream, and I'm surprised I'm not banned from Twitch already. But it's been a while time. Captain Puff says he thought that he'd passed. I guess Captain Puff is now the longest reigning QCS champion. He's held the belt for almost a year, Eric.
Puff, who you playing now? You still playing Hero? I need to figure out what the hell Hero does. All this DLC came out during most of all of Ultimate came out during this whole. I'm reinventing myself. I don't know half the shit of what's going on in Ultimate still. It sucks.
Well, dude, he's probably still in the chat, or some of his buddies are, but I've got a new foil in bracket in EKY, and it's Jomer, because he's playing, and Jomer's a lot better than he used to be, but he's playing Steve now, and I don't know what the hell to do, man. I have no idea how the hell to I don't know how to play Steve. Soup Bean says TCW has a Parlor account. I love
Steve so much. What the hell's Parlor?
It was what the Boomer and Trump fans decided that they were going to do instead of Facebook, since Facebook fact checks them. They made their own deal.
I mean, something could come along and get us away from Facebook. It would take some real innovation. I mean, Smashboard still exists. It's not like we couldn't just use that. There was something about it being bought out by I think MLG. And I think someone else bought them out too. That the interface changed, and I didn't like it as much, but it still exists. Smashboards.com is a website. You can still go there. You can still see my posts. You could probably cancel me from like 12 years ago from all the stupid shit I said. And so young version of me is on there saying really dumb shit. But yeah, most of my days is on Smashboards. I come home, I come back from college class. I was in college when I first started Brawl, and just whether I was at the library on a public computer or I was on my laptop in my dorm, going through forums, the Rob boards, the Midwest boards for tournaments, and then meta boards, like for just metagame talk and like talking about like frame data and advanced techniques and stuff. But yeah, I'd frequently kind of those three subregions the most, and just post. I had thousands of posts. It's one of those guys, and that's how you knew about people before going to an event. Oh, when Mango and Armada squaring off at Genesis and there's no stream for it, on Smashboards like a fucking fiend, trying to see updates on there and build hype around things. And
in EKY for the local sports fans, there's a website that I'm an administrator on, Bluegrass Rivals, and it's like before every game for about a week. Like on Friday you'll have an update thread on a high school game that's happening, and then after the game's over, they'll post the results, and everybody will talk about it, and then they'll post the thread for next week's game, and then everybody talks about that. That's it's kind of the same deal, and it's still flourishing right now. It's still rocking.
Where is that?
BluegrassRivals.com.
I used to go. Yeah, I've been on that site before. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
on there.
I still think it could work.
I'm Zaga fan on Bluegrass Rivals.
Of course you are.
Zaga fan.
Of course you are.
Yeah, no, it's but it's a wild. It's wild to think how just social media's changed. Tasty said he wanted to delete Facebook, but it's such an important tool for tournament organizers right now. Facebook and Twitter. I don't think Parler is going to be a good platform for Smash tournaments. Discord. I wish Discord was a little better than it was. It seemed like I've not got any traction out of trying to use Discord for it.
For tournament hosting?
Yep.
I bet Smash GG could really be the new home if they would. Well, they were just acquired, weren't they? By like Microsoft or some crazy shit. Or something with Microsoft.
Microsoft just bought Smash GG. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I feel like if they had a better interface for actually navigating tournaments. Because last time I used it, to me, it wasn't very user friendly. It wasn't very intuitive to just organically like look for tournaments around my proximity. It was very simple on Smashboards. It was just, where do I live? Well, kind of the Midwest region. All right, let's just go look for the threads there. Okay.
Yeah.
Tournament here for this date. Tournament here for this date. Tournament here for this date. There they all are. And even that could be completely refined and done better.
Yep.
That's not even as good as it could be.
You already have to register, have like a login on there with your tag to sign up for a tournament. To me, it shouldn't be that hard to have a thread on there, where you can talk about the tournament or what.
Do they have an API? I wonder.
They Smash GG does, because I know some developers that have. At Bourbon, they've got somebody wrote a program that pulls the scores of the games, that it'll automatically update their. So I imagine they have to have an API.
Yeah, they do. Okay.
Yeah,
that's cool. Huh. I might create a project idea for me. I'm looking for ways to grow as a developer. And I would love to have something I'm passionate about to do, and not just do projects that build the skill but doesn't build it passionately, because I'm not going to retain it as well. I have a few ideas of mine, but I'm almost a year in at being a software developer, and just like Smash, there's infinite room for growth, and you're always going to be a scrub. So always trying to be less of a scrub than I was the day before. So, Puff. I like Steve, but like everything's very surface level right now with how I look at Smash. I haven't really delved into characters to really know what I'm gonna do, but knowing me, I'll probably just play Rob. So
I feel that. I'm on the Samus train, dude. I tried to take the time over the break to learn somebody that's just a higher tier, and you can get some more use with. But dude, I tried it. I even tried to stick with the gimmick. I tried to just use Zero Suit, which is a Samus, but not really an unarguably better character. And when it comes time to put it to work, it seems when I go back to Samus, even after using a better character and really grinding that, it seems that when I go back to Samus, it just feels right.
I know the feeling all too well, and it sucks to lock in, because you feel like at some point you're kind of choking your potential out of what you can do with the game, because the game has counterpicking, and both in stage and character, and it's part of the game. It can be if you allow it, and but all these years, of just Rob always felt like home, and so. It's funny because I went from Melee Fox to Rob and Brawl. That was my transition.
Melee Fox to Rob and Brawl, and you stuck with you stuck. And were you a Rob fan, or did you just
didn't know what the hell he was. I was like, well, Fox feels like ass cheeks, and also leading up to the game was pushed back a bit, like the release date for whatever reason. I can't remember why now, but Japan got it earlier, like months earlier than America did. And I was watching Japanese gameplay, and I saw this little dude just fucking zooming around like with fire coming out of his asshole, and I was like, dude, this is the cutest thing I've ever seen, and kind of want to try him out, and I did, and I'm like, what is all this move delay? Because you input a nair, and he I also used to Fox, so you just hit a button, the move comes out, but you do like a back air or like a down air or a neutral air with Rob, and it takes a second. So like, okay, kind of have to see the future a little bit here to do some of his moveset. But once I got around that, it was like the opportunities that you got with laser and gyro made him so fun, and being able to fly around made him fun. That's why I like Steve when he came out, because I'm like, he's like sandboxed the game, he's just a big, huge creativity outlet. And to me, no two, Steve playstyle is going to ever be the same, because so vastly, the character's just so vast on what he could do. So
yeah, when
we'll see what happens.
I didn't play. I played Melee a lot back in the day when it came out. I was in high school when it came out, so I played
7th grade.
I played. So I played Melee. Was a big fan, and I was a Sheik main. And I didn't play Brawl. I didn't play 4. And Ultimate came out, and for whatever reason, I just I told my wife for Christmas that year, I was like, hey, give me a Switch for Christmas, and my brother got me Ultimate, and I played it, and Sheik, I just wasn't the same. Sheik Melee and Sheik Ultimate are two different anomalies.
Yeah.
And I said, you know what? I remember playing Samus, and it was just, I could just, throw crap out. And I'm like, I will play Samus until I figure out actually how to play the game. And then I'll go to someone else. And here we are.
You just haven't figured out how to play the game yet.
Yeah, here we are a year and a half later. I'm still trying to figure it out. But, I started, started out charge shot, missiles, and back air and fair, and that was like all I used. And I would use like those 4 moves. I'd try to get people to jump over, and then I'd fair them, and then try to kill them like that. And then I would slowly
eat glue. Slowly
learn more pieces of the kit, more things to do, and then the next thing you know, I'm just a Samus man. It's I stuck with it that long, and you just keep learning and evolving, and now I have the ability to just piss people off nonstop.
As long as you're having fun, so
that's all.
As long as you still enjoy the game,
that's all that matters. Like we were talking about earlier with time and using it. I remember a conversation that was in the Lexington chat. One of the few conversations in there where I felt like anything constructive happened. Sorry, Lex guys, I love you guys. Puff's in there. Puff's on here, but he
just one GIF a day.
I said, I remember that the one GIF or one meme per day limit,
whatever it was, yeah.
And but I had, Ace was talking about, why don't people just practice and get better, and Ace is a guy that doesn't have a full time, has the ability to pour in a lot more hours than we do, but it's also something that. Even before he had this opportunity, he still did it. And Ace is really freaking good at the game. He's a really talented guy, and he puts in practice, and he puts in the right kind of practice. And we had a talk there once. And he's like, why don't you do this? And I'm like, it's all about priorities. And I think Puff was one of the ones talking in there, and he was like, you know, I do need to get in the lab more, but I don't. You know, I work and I do this, and you know where it falls in. You know, I do try. He's like, I do try to get better each and every day. I've not made the same kind of strides as you have, and I said, you know, it's the same for me. I want to get better, and I do feel like I am better. I want to be better at everything that I do. I want to be always growing and learning in everything that I do, except, you know, sucking, you know. But the,
I want to be a better sucker.
that's Armchair Athletics After Hours. That's for the sub only show.
I'll save it.
But
Patreon.
But but I remember saying, you know, I want to be better too, but I want to be a better TO more than I want to be a better player. I want to be a better host more than I want to be a better player. I want to be a better dad and teacher and husband than I want to be a better player. You know, and our priorities shape who we are. There's a lot of, I just don't want to be one of those people that's really good at just freaking sitting on the couch, getting high and not doing anything else. You know what I mean? I want to be, you know, I want to do some really, not offense to anyone out there that smokes the left-handed cigars, that the left-handed Black and Milds that Rayleigh brought the other day. No, I'm just saying I want to be a better person, and my priority list shapes what kind of person I'm going to be. And there's not a lot of my day that's spent, you know, wasting any amount of time.
Yeah, I think it's one thing if you do that kind of lifestyle and you just actually enjoy it, and you're just happy, you're just content with that. It's another thing if you're just doing it because it's easy, but you really deep down want to go do something better for yourself, and you just settle for that sort of lifestyle.
Yeah, I feel that.
And then you have the, you know, you feel the need to complain, go, you know, oh man, this person's so lucky to be able to do all that, and you don't know their story. You know how many times I've heard that JDB is a talented player. You don't know his story. You don't know what got him to where he's at. You don't know what, like, even Ace, like, you don't know what he's given up or what he's put into, whether it's Smash or what other facets of life that led him to be who Ace Star is today. We don't know all those things. It's complicated. Like, I've made a lot of life-changing decisions around to have my life cater to Smash more. I've relocated jobs, quit my job. I've put dating on the back burner. Haven't been in a relationship in almost 5 years after dating all of my, you know, existence up to that point. Just for multitude of reasons, but a lot of it was Smash was higher priority for me. This is the lifestyle I liked the most, and I saw the most appeal in it, so I sacrificed other things. And I get to see people so frustrated at the successes that I'll have or others have, and why can't I have that? You can. Hell, I could even argue that you could probably end up being a top player, PGR top 50. But what are you willing to give up to do that? And what are you willing to do to learn what it takes to do that, and not just want it, but to blood, sweat, and tears it, and actually try to obtain it? Because I don't think we've hashed out the sport of Smash like we've hashed out the sport of basketball and whatnot. I think this is still an infinitely young game, and I really do believe a lot of people can achieve great lengths with it.
Man, I went and played basketball with some of the Lexington crew a while back.
Speaking of Ace,
yeah, and I knocked one of Ace's teeth out. Sorry, Ace, love you. He's not watching. He's too busy being a stream superstar. But speaking of Ace, after it was over with, I went back to Jay Knapp's place and we played a little music. And Ace sat down to practice, and he got in the lab, and I was watching him practice, and I'm like, man, you just watching him practice, I was kind of taken aback at the guy's practice habits. Like he was labbing Marth, and he was trying to work out some tipper stuff. and he was in the lab, and he was just doing it over and over and over again at different percents stuff. And then it got to the point where it was frustrating to him how long it took this character to get back to stage after he would tipper him or almost tipper him. So he like went into the items and gave the bot a star just so he could see where it clinked at on the tipper. And I'm just like, dear God,
okay.
I'm like, this is why this guy's better than me, because I'm just like, Elite Smash, yeah. Let's get some GSP up. Let's get in the lab and go try some more down throw at zero combos, and I get bored of that in 15 minutes, and I go back to grinding Elite Smash or something. Just to see that practice discipline was really eye-opening for me.
Yeah, it's a hard pill to swallow for a lot of people, though. It's not just eye-opening. It's they don't want to accept it. They don't try to even understand why someone's so good. And most people just assume other people are just gifted. I hate the word talent in a lot of ways. I think there's truth to it to some degree. I think people get some things better than others, faster than others. But I do think hard work at the end of the day trumps almost every other thing in comparison to actual talent. Because you ain't shit if you're talented, but you don't do shit, but you're lazy.
Oh, yeah.
I'll take a hard worker. I'll take someone that's coachable, teachable, willing to learn, and willing to sacrifice way before I would take someone who just God's greatest gift.
I don't know how many times working in the TV business where we would interview a new employee, and they come with an air check or a reel, and they'll come in the way there was a big process to interviewing at the TV station. You'd come in when they would submit their application, they would usually have a YouTube video or even a tape, for that DVD or USB stick or something that would have like the best work that they've done, and you would see what they're capable of, and then you would take them into the anchor desk, and you'd give them yesterday's newscast, and you'd say, okay, read this like you're anchoring a newscast. And then you'd take them out to dinner, and you'd talk to them, and you'd see how things were going, and you'd do the interview. They'd leave, they'd stay overnight, and then they'd come back the next day for the interview. We gave them a test, like a current events quiz, to see if they kept up with news. But some of the people with the best reels, the best opportunity to that made the most of their air check when they were reading through the scripts and stuff, that did so awesome. When it came time to just being a good employee that wanted to do their job hard and get out there and put the work in, they sucked. And I would 10 to 1, and in TV, you want to put pretty people on TV too, Sometimes pretty people that sound good, you don't want them to have the lisp, you don't want to have them to have that southern drawl accent. Don't want to put that on TV. But I don't know how many times that, we hired 2 people, and they start out that this one has gotten this far. This one is this good. This one's this good. And the other one just outworks them. And becomes a better employee.
Yeah. Yeah. My latest example of that is for myself, and having somehow gotten hired at UPS as a programmer back in January. Such a scrappy process. They'd ask me something, I was real with them, It's like, honestly don't know. Honest, I didn't try to bullshit or anything. And I just wanted to be humble I wanted to fail forward. I wanted to not take pride in someone being better than me. I wanted to aim high and work my ass off, and that was it. I didn't want to have fear of failure. I didn't want to care about how good I looked when we were having big conferences or whatever. Even though I was so nervous, and you could hear it in my voice, I wanted to make sure that I said something to make sure that I gave it an effort and I tried, and I could next time maybe even do it a little bit better. And this is all new that I'm adopting, but this type of mentality to even do these things. But the level of trust that I have placed in me now, the amount of positive feedback that I've gotten in response to how I work and what I've achieved so far at my job, I never would have dreamt that I was capable of doing that. But it's taught me that I don't have to be talented to land these gigs and whatnot. It's just a driving home point for me that I found within myself. So it's pretty cool. And yeah, that book, Daigo's what was it, The Will to Keep on Winning, I think, or something like that. It's actually sitting on the back of my toilet right now. So it's a good little, very tiny little book. I love books like that, especially if they're like esports related. The dude quit Street Fighter, Daigo did, to go play Mahjong.
Yeah.
For like a year or two, like just hardcore. Like, I want to get good at this. I love that. I love that he's just like kind of interested in this. All right, I'm gonna sacrifice my world and go be the best version of this game I can be. I'm actually at a crossroads right now where I'm like, what do I do next? And I'm starting to weigh some possibilities. Smash, of course, is on the table. Of what I'm considering.
But yeah, I think a lot of people like to find excuses as to why they're not getting the results that they get to, and they get caught up in that. I remember, and that extends to beyond Smash. I remember one time my boss came up to me at WYMT, and it was, I was the executive producer of digital content at the time, and we didn't have something on our website wasn't up. We got beat by another station, and my boss comes up to me and he's like, "Hey, why didn't we have this? Why are we just now getting this up?" And I remember, and I got a lot of excuses from my reporters and people out there, producers that were posting stuff late in the evenings when I wasn't around. I got a lot of excuses, and it was something that I saw come in earlier, and it got lost. And my boss is like, "Why didn't we have this up?" And I said, I can't give you a good reason why we don't have it up. I can't give you a good reason why we got beat on this. We got beat on it because I didn't do it. I missed it. I missed the mark, and that's and he looked at me and he goes, "Okay, get it up," and then walked off. And the thing is, if I would have made an excuse, "Oh, I've been working on this other story here for so long," and whatever, we would have sat there and we'd have had an argument, and he would have won. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter. It didn't get done. So I remember
good on you.
From that point forward, that was my big thing. We had it. There was a big poster posted up in the newsroom, just said, "No excuses." Just get it done. And I don't know how many people. I look back at, like, I went back and watched my top 8 run the other day. The matches I lost anyway. And I just remembered, seeing just some stupid stuff, like I lost in top 8 to a Belmont who was supposed to be a pretty good Belmont, and I remember I had like an 80% lead on this dude, second stock, and I dash attacked him. While he was at ledge, so I was center stage with an 80% lead. And I could have just kept freaking eating glue. You know what I mean? Like, I had no reason. This guy was getting up from ledge. I dash attacked him, and he shielded, up-beat me out of shield, and then went off stage, and I was like at 18, and he fared me after I jumped. So I didn't. I died at like 30, and I'm just looking, I'm looking at that, and I'm like, I had this. You know what I mean? Like this top 8 should have been a top 5. You know, I'm up one game, and I can still, you know, keep friggin' eating glue on this dude. And the other guy was like, you know, it was a Luigi that on 2 separate occasions. I know you wouldn't expect me to do this or anything, but there were 2 separate occasions where the guy threw an F smash in the opposite direction because he knew that I was going to roll, and I rolled behind him, and he F smashed me. And it's always been a bad habit of mine.
Yeah,
it's always been a bad habit of mine, and it's just one, you know, and that was the guy that ended up being in Grands on Winterside, I think. So, you know, I was right there with him, and screwed up. It was last every game I lost was last stock. So, you know, and I can look back and see that, but why make excuses? You know, why make, it is what it is. I did stupid. Played stupid games. I won stupid prizes, and you got to get back to it next time.
Stupid input, stupid output. You assess the situation, you reflect, you be as objective as you can be. You try to understand. You spend time with that loss, even that win. Why the hell did you even win? You know, like what could I have done better? Even what did I do well? Don't just be hard on yourself, but like identify the things that were good. Be productive. There's so much more to it than just a binary result of win and losing. And a lot of people aren't willing to open up that Pandora's box and just figure out all the complexities and the intricate nature of just competition. Brain versus brain. Never static. It's always ever changing. And yeah. It's wild to me. So real quick, I could talk all night, but I do have to pee. And how do you want to proceed? Because I can go take a quick pee break. Or I'd rather I could talk until 11 because that's when I start my shift. But if you want to close up soon, you close up soon.
Do you have anything that you're just dying to talk about?
My whole life. I don't know.
Dude, we've been going for more than 3 hours. You know, you know what I mean. We've hit a lot of good stuff. But I mean, is there anything that you wanna really talk about as we get going forward?
I'm not sure. Seriously, just give me 60 seconds and I'll be back. Okay. We can even close up if we need to. I'm getting to the point where I got to pee so bad I can't even think straight, and I'm like, I'm gonna give you some pretty half-ass, even a half-ass closing.
I got you, baby. I got you, baby. To the 13 viewers in the chat, if you don't follow yet, give us a follow. We're about to wrap up here. I'm in a interesting predicament with my diet now. I'm doing the fasting stuff, and I didn't eat before this, so I'm starved to death, and I'm at a crossroads. Like, do I wait until tomorrow, because the last time I ate was like 2, so that would put me being able to fast until 8 o'clock to get my fast in, or I could eat now, eat small, but that may make it worse. Yeah, like I could eat now and then fast a lot longer, eat until later in the day tomorrow. LC Ledge, drink a big junk. Dude, I might have to do it. I might just have to get the old water bottle out and chug it and get ready to rock.
New fucking man.
The man's back. Bro. Shady's back. Back again.
Shit. Actually, no, let's talk about my freaking M&M obsession. Bro, actually, like, if you go, I'm like, like legit a stand. You go back to my home on Greasy Creek in Shelbyana, technically Kentucky, Pike County, Kentucky. You go up to old Greasy Creek up in the holler. You find my house, and you go in my room, and it's just Eminem posters everywhere. I used to have magazine cutouts all over the place. Was crazy into Eminem. Dyed my hair blonde, the whole shebang, for a bit. So I just wanted to bring that up now.
Wait.
Since Shady's back.
So you legit dyed your hair. So you were a legit stan, like.
I was pretty damn close. Yeah, it was my life for like a year or two. Because I notice now that I'm like, I have obsessive tendencies. Like when I get into something, I kind of lock in on it. I locked in on Eminem and starting the summer before 8th grade until it started falling off a little bit, starting sophomore year of high school. But then it revamped up when my girlfriend also got into Eminem, and we became equally into Eminem. It's weird, dude. We go down that rabbit hole at some point, but just fun fact. Yeah. Shoe size 10.5, I believe he's left-handed, but these are some things I think I recall. But
before we wrap up, though, yeah. One thing I wanted to we talked a little bit about the weight loss journey, and I'm on the start of one. I started. I'd say it's been close to 2 months. I started out doing the no carb deal. I don't know if I told you this. I'm down 20 pounds now. I lost 20 pounds. Yeah. I lost 15 pounds. I lost 10 pounds really quick. It was a slow grind down to 15, and then I did it the wrong way, because I'd say for a month I did not eat a shred of fiber. And dude, it put me in a bad way. It put me in need to go to the doctor and get something lined out, kind of way. So I had to come off that for a little bit. And I did it going into like right around Thanksgiving, about a week before Thanksgiving, and I had to get some fiber in and exercise some demons, and then I gained some weight, and then I went back to kind of a lower carb deal, but I would do I'm doing intermittent fasting. I know you said that you just kind of counted calories and made sure you exercise, right? You just old school, baby.
Yep. Pain in the ass to count calories. That's not how I started. I happened to have a lifestyle that allowed me to, when I first started losing weight, where I'd play Dance Dance Revolution every day, and I would just make better choices, not drink soda and whatnot, not drink my calories. It's really, my diet still wasn't perfect, but I was making chicken and rice almost every day as my staple dinner, avocado and toast, good old millennial breakfast, and then whatever in between. And I just worked out. I play DDR a lot. Like I have, actually. Ooh, this may be interesting. Wait a second, real quick. I think this is on YouTube, but unlisted. How do I see my videos? Me, videos? No! How do I see my actual YouTube studio, right? Yeah, I don't know. I'm booming out, dude. Videos. Show me. Yes, unlisted. Hell yeah, give me the link. Get the damn link. I'll put it in chat. Here we go. Ooh. Okay. So this would be kind of cool. Okay, coming in hot. Going in the chat. Twitch chat now.
Yeah.
That's about what I looked like starting. I might have lost 10 pounds already, but this will give you an idea of what my workout was like starting out. As you can see, this is April 25th, 2019. But yeah, this is my lifestyle at the start of my weight loss. I was probably about 280 here. So this was me schmoving.
For the folks wanting to see it home.
Oh yeah, I see you pulling it up. Cool.
Yeah. But yeah, that's a big time strides, man. And for you, what's it feel? What's it feel like looking back at that?
For me, looking back on me overweight as a whole, being overweight was a product of just me wearing my heart on my sleeve, you know, like it kind of reflected where I was at in life. I treated myself badly. I put bad things in my body. Not everyone puts bad things in their body. Like I put bad things in my body right now. Like occasionally I'll have some cake or a soda or occasionally I'll have a few things here and there. But no, I fueled it. Just toxic things. I feel like for me, being that overweight was a reflection of where I was at in life, and I was going nowhere fast. And really down on myself. I had low self-esteem. I was out of a job. I was really I hit a big wall in life on not knowing what my purpose was and know where I wanted to go. And so I look back at that person, and all I know at that point in time, at that specific video, that person was fighting. And that person was trying to get out of that. I was a walking zombie. I couldn't sleep. I woke up 6, 7, 8 times a night. Sleep study said I was dying pretty well. I had over 100 apneic events an hour. Oxygen levels down to 50%. I wet the bed. It was just like I was a train wreck, health-wise. And so it felt like it was do or die at that point. But even before all that, I'd struggled with depression, which I think hard on the sleeve with the weight. I think that was reflected there. Got to the point where I wasn't even just sad anymore. I was just numb to everything. Most scary time of my life. But yeah, I feel an array of emotions when I look back at that person. I can safely say today I am the happiest I've ever been. And not like in the sense of like I'm reaching like a high, like I'm feeling equal highs that I've felt. I felt higher before. I felt higher competing. I felt higher in relationships. I felt higher around friends and family. But I'm consistently happy. I get out of bed with purpose. And even on days where I'm indecisive and I feel like I need to like vent about it in a journal, I still know I'm going somewhere. And that when the days are shitty and the skies are gray, I'm working towards something. Because I've spent enough time myself now to give myself purpose and to give myself a reason to work. Keep always work on myself, even though I'm skinny now. I'm in the 170s. Like I am considerably skinnier, and wearing like a waist size 30. This is a medium. Like so. Every day I still have to challenge myself. Like the first thing, I just woken up when you messaged me back this morning. It was like 4:15 p.m. or something. I work nights right now. And the first thing on my mind was, how do I get my run in and make this happen? Well, it turns out I'm not getting my run in, and it's okay. I'll lose a day. I'll work out every day. It's not like I can't afford to miss a workout day. I'll probably do some push-ups and some crunches. But like the mindset now is I have more purpose. I'm not aimless. I'm not just, escaping to smash and like enjoy myself on those moments and then come back to me that I don't like. No, I COVID was a good test for how far I've come because I lost Smash, and if I'd lost Smash while I was as low as I was back then, I don't even want to think about it. I don't even want to imagine.
Yeah, man. I'll pull up you might be a little bit behind, but I'll pull up. This is a picture of me a long time ago, back when I was just absolutely just killing it. When it came to, I was probably 160 there maybe, but I ate terrible. I did terrible things, but I worked out enough, and my metabolism was wild enough that it wasn't a big deal. And then I know my wife posted this picture the other day. I just looked at it and I'm like, oh my god, you know. And that's an older picture, but she just recently posted it because she needed to post a picture of me for some goofy thing she was doing on Facebook. Ask your husband this, your significant other this, and see and put their answers down. And she couldn't find pictures of me because I've strayed away from having my picture taken for so long because I've gained so much weight, and I'm still, you know,
that one hits home.
What's that? Yeah,
the picture taking
thing
hits home.
I mean, you couldn't find a picture of me because, and the only reason that one was there, as you can see, is I was driving and I couldn't do anything about it. You know, she took the picture, and I'd say I was up to about 290 in that. When I started this weight loss deal, I was at about 280, and I'm down to 260 last time I weighed myself, but I don't weigh myself every day because that's just.
I do it weekly. I don't know if that's helpful or not.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you just fluctuate. It's hard to.
Yeah.
To put a lot. So I do it weekly too, and I'll weigh myself again Wednesday. But I was
weigh day Wednesday.
Hell yeah. But I was at 260 last Wednesday, and right now, you know, I feel like I can keep going. But it's so you know we've talked, it's come up several times tonight. You know, time and what you put, you know, how you prioritize it, and you know, yeah. I've got the gym, you know, 5-10 feet away from me right now, and there's no reason for me to be sitting around eating and wasting time or doing it when I can get down there and I can get something done. And you know, the diet, I did have to kind of reset it, and I've changed it now. I'm doing like an intermittent fasting deal, which I was telling some folks today. While you stepped away to use the bathroom, I said, you know, I've got a decision to make today because I didn't eat. I ate at 2 o'clock, basically 1:30, 2 o'clock. And I typically eat between the hours of 12 and 6. So at 6 hours.
Oh, wow. You don't even do the 12 to 8.
Yeah, so I do 6 hours of eating, and then that leaves, you know, an 18-hour fast.
Okay.
We started it, you know, I called you at 5:55. My wife hadn't fixed dinner yet, and I was like, so now I'm at this point now where like I can eat after we're done here, but that means I'm going to have to wait until, you know, 4 o'clock or something tomorrow before I eat again. Or I can still drink water, so I could get in some, drink some water, stay hydrated, and push through it until tomorrow, and then go. So I'm at a crossroads. I got to make a decision when I get out of here. But you know, either way it goes, you know, or I've got the option to, which is a perfectly viable option, is to just say screw it and eat, and then eat and eat, and that's something that I would have done, you know, a few years ago. That's something that I would have done, but I've got to weigh I'm gonna have a hard few hours ahead of me here, but I'm gonna do something that's gonna better myself instead of caving in.
Good. It's so hard. It's so taxing. I hate that a lot of the times that when people see like results, that's why I'm always afraid to post results.
Yeah.
that people don't get to see the process and the struggle of how much it takes and how much it can hurt to
Or I hate
really
when
really lock in.
I hate when I would when we bought the new house or we get a new car or something, and somebody says, "Must be nice." Must be nice what? Must be nice freaking working my ass off to be able to afford this. Is that what must be nice? Is that sorry, sorry? I have I do not feel any amount of sympathy for anyone who is upset that I buy something for myself or have something for myself, because I know that I freaking grind, dude. I grind, and I always have. I picked up a contract doing some media stuff on the side for someone, and went out and knocked a bunch of stuff out earlier this week, and they were like, "Man, I wouldn't have. It would have taken me forever to do this by myself." I'm like, "I know. It's because I freaking. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm here. It's why I'm getting paid. Because I know what I'm doing, and I will work hard, and I'll go do it. And because of that, I don't do it for free. There are some things I do for free, but I grind, and I think that if anybody wants to have anything for themselves, they got to be able to work. I used to work tech support at a call center, and they had 24-hour overtime, anytime you wanted, unlimited, dude.
Bro, what did you do with that?
Dude, friggin', my wife didn't see me, dude. My wife didn't.
That's dangerous.
My wife didn't see me much. I don't know how many times that I would, and I lived in what's called Leatherwood. It's in the outskirts of Perry County.
5 megabit land.
And I would have to drive about 45 minutes or an hour to work in the same county, in Perry County.
That sounds about right.
And there were so many times that I'd get done from work at like 3 a.m, and I would, after working like a 12 hour, probably like a 16, 20-hour shift, and I'd just call my mom and be like, "Hey, I know it's late, but can I just sleep at your house? I don't think I can drive home. I don't think I can make it home. I'm tired." And they just got to the point where they just gave me a key again, and they're like, "Yeah, you can sleep here anytime. Don't worry about it. Just come in and make yourself at home."
That's scary. I could see myself locking in on that too for a bit, and it's so hard to. I do have an ounce of sympathy for those people that sit back, and I don't like trying to feel sorry for people because I don't want to patronize or whatever. I don't want to, talk down to them because I don't know their life. I don't know what they've been through to get them to where they're at. But I do know that it's hard to subscribe to the do work mentality. I was spoon fed my whole life. I never worked for anything.
Yeah, and I do understand that if there's someone out there that their set of circumstances prevents them from having the luck that I've had, but if it's somebody that look, I'm sorry. If I see, you're 30, I'm not going to talk. I'll get in trouble here if I keep going. But I mean, I see you. I see you on Facebook. I know what you're spending your money on. I see what I know what's going. But for there are people. You make a good point. I mean, there are some people out there that just don't have the opportunities that a lot of us have, and because of no fault of their own.
Yeah. It took me into my 30s to really start becoming an adult. I like to put it that way, at least. Sure, I did some adult things here and there. But being an only child, not that that's an excuse for it, but that's part of the reason. My I was very much babied, and I let it happen for the longest time. And I think at some point, I have to recognize it, whether it takes until my 20s, mid 20s, late 20s, whatever. I had to eventually recognize it and be like, okay, this is what's going on. I'm being kind of enabled to continue down this road, even though I'm being taken care of, quote unquote. It's actually kind of toxic. It's kind of like actually hurting me more than it's helping me. It's good intentions, but I'm letting myself go down this really comfortable road. And me getting so out of like me having so many health issues really helped wake me up. And I was like, because and instead of just being woe is me and I'm a piece of shit and all this stuff, I finally like I think Smash helped teach me this, to like really assess myself and assess my failures at this point. Kind of, put it into a fact sheet or something like, this is what's going on with me. What do I need to do? What are some actual achievable things that I need to tackle to reverse this? And I had to recognize that. And I think Smash taught me that. And maybe that's still lucky, but I do think at some point it is responsibility of them. That's why I have an ounce of sympathy. I don't have full-on sympathy.
You have an ounce, but not a pound. You have an ounce, but not a pound of sympathy.
I'll give them 2 ounces.
Yeah, I mean, I feel that.
I don't know. It's tricky, like humans are. It's just tricky. So I don't know, but eventually, I've adopted the do work mentality, and I'm so fucking happy I have. Unbelievably happy that I have. And sometimes I get too carried away with it, and I don't learn how to rest, and I don't learn how to slow it down and think and stop to smell the roses, and and those are my daily struggles, and that's what I'm learning to manage now. Yeah, always room to grow. So
my wife talks about how she doesn't see how I function on the amount of sleep that I get. She always gets a full night's sleep. I don't. But just it's been an interesting last couple of years for me. But I Smash, fighting games, getting into the competitive side of that, I think it helped me too, because it's factors and product. You've got all these factors that come out to an end result, and no matter what you look at, in the words of Ben Shapiro, facts don't care about your feelings. The facts of the matter are, hey, you dash attacks this Belmont at ledge at 0, and then you die. You died at 30.
Love that. I love how brutal competition is. I love how zero-sum brutal it is. More times than not, it's quite spelled out why you lost. You just have to look for it, figure it out, and it's always something that you could do better. It's always something that you're lacking. And I also love the fact that you can put all the time in the world into something and still never achieve what you want. I like that unknown. I like not having a guaranteed result, but yet I still do it anyways for whatever reason. I really like that. Yeah.
Competition of any type. There was a high school football team around here that pulled a big upset a few weeks ago, and I remember some people talking about why it happened on Facebook or on Bluegrass Rivals, and they were talking about how they did this and this did. And I'm like I don't care. Look, for 4 quarters of football, this team was better than the other team. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what this coach decided to do, this one single play, this one single call. None of that matters. In the confines of the rules of that game, within 4 minutes, you were asked to score more points than the other team. Whoever does wins and moves on, and it's over. And in Smash, I hear a lot of people talk about, and I'm a zoner, so I get it all the time. Oh my God, this degen zoner stuff. Oh God, it's not competitive. This, that. And I'm like, look, I don't care. We do not decide who wins a game by who rushed down the most. We don't decide who wins a game by how many neutral exchanges you won. You win games by taking 3 stocks before the other guy takes 3 stocks. And whatever way you get there, no matter if you friggin' time them the hell out. You know what I'm saying?
I can link you to some plenty of timeout videos from my Brawl days. I
mean,
subscribed to that a long time ago.
That is the name of the game. And if you don't like it, you can, if you don't like it, you can find another game to play. Find a game where you do that. I play Power Rangers Battle for the Grid. If you win neutral one time, you beat their character basically because it's just everything's a touch of death. It's
Is it a fighter?
Oh yeah.
Battle of the Grid. Sounds like a turn-based game.
No man. If you're into Power Rangers lore, there's a comic book out called Power Rangers Shattered Grid. And it's like alternate timelines, dimensions, and stuff, or whatever. But the game's kind of based off of that Battle for the Grid. It's a fun game, man. It's a fun game. But
I'm always too scared to play other games. I'm like, I'll just get into something new, find something else new to get into. Like last night, one of the other endeavors I'm playing with is chess, and I got on chess.com, and I was like, here we go. Shouldn't be doing this.
Oh, here we go.
Then another game. And I'm like, Eric, it's 8 a.m. Go to bed. And I'm like, I think it's down to right now. It's Ultimate Melee Chess Pool, or like the 4 DDR, or like the 5, the handful of things that I can get into, that I can see myself getting into and like wanting to like really lock in on for a while. I don't know if I just choose one or not.
I'm starting to go all in on the fighting game stuff. I've in the past week I've turned on. I've got Smash. I've turned on Battle for the Grid. I've turned on Tekken, and I've turned on Guilty Gear too. So I've got
Lordy.
Nothing wild. Honestly,
yeah.
If I want to be honest, I play Smash the least right now. But
same.
But I do think about it a lot. Think about things. I do, go back and watch stuff and watch other people. And I think that, believe it or not, since I've quit doing the Elite Smash grind every night for an hour or two, I think I've actually gotten better just by doing that.
We zoomed out some too. It's easy to tunnel vision if you just keep going through the same motions. It's like a recalibration. I think you gave your mind some time to like reset and almost forget the perspective that you were locked into when you were doing Elite Smash grinding. And like you'll keep part of it too, but you'll also be able to back out a little bit and reassess the situation, come at it with a fresh state of mind. So breaks are good, I think.
Yeah, I think they're good. I was for the past, I think I've grinded maybe once in the past several months outside of really just, we had our weeklies, and those were when I really, I wouldn't consider them grinds, but I think weeklies should be that. Weeklies should be an opportunity to be in a competitive environment, try things and go from there, and then you got your monthlies and regionals and majors to really show what you've done.
Yeah, I agree. I haven't grinded since April, maybe. I was like, oh yeah, I'll play some more Smash, keep me sane. And then I was like, no, I decided to just quit completely for a while until I had it back the way I wanted it. And it also gave me more time to like keep working on myself because I was escaping again. I was starting to gain weight again, pandemic stuff, 10 pounds almost the first month.
I'm going to try to do, I'm going to try, since we're back to online again, I'm going to try to do, not host one, either host or play in one Wi-Fi tournament a week and stream it. And I'm going to stream the whole thing in character the entire time. I'm gonna just be talking trash and stuff. That's gonna be my goal for the next. First one's gonna be Thursday. Hosting. I don't know if you've seen this, but Facebook has their own tournament feature now. Has a bracket built in. Your game pops up. It says it'll give you notifications when your next game is coming and stuff. I'm going to try it out Thursday. We're going to see how it works. I'm interested. It can't be much.
I'm glad you're trying it. Yeah.
It can't be much worse than Smash GG. You know what I mean? It can't be.
Smash GG seems like it's like hit and miss.
Yeah, it seems when it's going great, it is incredible. For stage selection and it just pops up on the screen, character selects, all that's built in. You can do 300-person tournaments in a matter of hours, when in person you'd be doing that all day. We'll see. I'd like to get about 16 to 20 people in this. That way, if it goes completely off the freaking rails, it's just like doing a challenge bracket with and putting in the stuff yourself.
Yeah, just have a backup plan, and go with it, give it a shot, and then
if it don't
it's
work,
definitely worth trying. If
it doesn't work, it doesn't work. If it does, it does. But either way it goes, it's content for the Razor stream. Thursday at 7. Sign up on Facebook right now.
I'm kind of tempted just to come in and meme.
Hey, Mitch is in it. Mitch signed up.
Dude, the one thing I miss about working day shift, because Mitch also works at UPS, is I get my daily business Skype messages from Mitch that say "sup," and we just occasionally have a good little 20-minute chat every day.
That's what I'm talking about. Mitch says he's going to stream his run Thursday, so it'll be
a short stream.
Hey, look here. Hey, he's not that little boy anymore, Eric.
Not the little boy he used to be. Dude.
Got you figured out now.
Hey, so I got your number now, bitch. I don't think he can do it anymore. I think he's already he's milked it. But those first 2 times were so derived a certain feeling out of me of a mixture of confusion and the very first time was up at the River City or whatever it was that you went to, where you teabagged that one guy and probably got mad, or I don't know. When you were at the Galt House, you went up to that one tournament over in Indiana. I was up at that venue, and just goes up a stock on me. I kind of know Mitch, I know him pretty well, but we're not know him, just chat. But it would be different. We had banter before this, and no banter leading up to this. It was just we're just playing the game, and then all of a sudden, he's up a stock on me, and I just get out of nowhere. I don't even see him in my peripheral. Look over, I don't even see him. I'm not the little boy I used to be. It was just I'm not the little boy I used to be. And I was and I just came down on the platform respawning, and I just sat there and I go. Just processing it, and the same thing with the "got your number now, bitch." He's on a 3-0 comeback, reverse sweep. I'm already beating myself in my head. I'm running on so little sleep. I'm already in the worst state of mind I could possibly be in. That the only person that I should lose to is JDB in this bracket, and the dude, he's got my number. Because he switched to Samus finally after I beat his Kirby and his something else. And I'm okay, I'll dial in on this zoning shit here in a bit. My brain couldn't do it. I just could not figure it out. Dude. And it slowly was getting worse. So he did have my number. You didn't have to tell me, Mitch. I already saw it.
I can't imagine. Up on me. I can't imagine driving with Mitch down to EKY for a tournament, and then watching him and JDB in grands. I can't imagine.
It's I've seen it all at this point, and it's just another life lesson. I feel like the universe just gave me a sign, and I just gotta process it.
Gotcha, man.
But dude,
I hear I hear my little boy yelling "Dad" from the top of the stairs. So we've been going at it for about 4 hours here, man. This has been some good
Technically, it would have
talks.
been 4 hours if we didn't have those technical difficulties leading up. But yeah, we've been definitely going at it for a good 4 hours.
Well, since we came back up, it's timed at 3:40. So we're darn close to it. But man, anything you wanna, any shout outs or anything you want to give before we shut it down tonight?
I mean, shout outs to everybody that came out. Shout outs to everybody that's just out there trying to figure it out, during this whole quarantine mess and trying to maintain a stable mindset and figure themselves out. I know that's what it's been like for me lately. So we're all trying to solve our own puzzles. So keep at it. You'll figure your shit out at some point, or maybe you never will, but you always get better at it. So I'm in such a weirdly inspirational mood lately that's probably sickening. So I always just want to talk about that stuff more than anything. So yeah, I don't know. Shout outs to me, Mom, Pete, Paul, Jeremy, and Amber. They're probably definitely my closest friends I got right now. Shout outs to Razor if he's here. Puts together some really good events and puts together talks like this and gives people the platform to you gave Luigi Gauchard a platform to actually express himself, and God knows if anyone actually showed up to it to actually hear him out and try to understand why he exists the way he does. But you gave him that, so you've been a great TO. You're kind of the Joe Rogan of Smash with this Armchair Athletics thing, and yeah. So shout outs to you, and shout outs to me. So
thanks, man. I'm
and Mitch. And shout out to Mitch.
Shout out to Mitch. Mitch was in the chat earlier. But man, thanks everybody. Thanks Eric especially for talking with me. I know this sounds terrible, but this was a last minute deal. But I always felt like Eric was just like a guy. I can ask Eric anytime, and I know we're going to have a good conversation. So I
hit me up tomorrow. We'll do it again.
So we had an opportunity arise to get him in today, and I'm like, I'm just going to ask Eric because he's, I know he's going to be great. But for all the people that have been in the chat, I don't know if Jeremy and Amber are still there, but man, I'm thankful to be a part of Bourbon. I'm thankful for Jeremy for getting in the chat and watching this stuff. Soup Bean is taking a big interest in the streaming community late. He's been in this chat for about 3 hours tonight, raising hell.
Can you see those metrics?
Oh yeah, baby.
Can you see time metrics of individuals?
No, I mean, I've been. He got on here about 3 hours ago, and he's been here the entire time.
Okay. I was like, that's badass if you could actually see those metrics. Sorry, it just old Twitch me is wondering. So keep going. I'm sorry.
No, I got you. But I mean, there's a lot of people that say that are in the chat right now that I don't know if they even follow. Lemon Juices, Rubber Slayer, Kodiak, Ice Wizards, Droop Dog, Commander Root, Casino Thinks. I don't even know who you guys are, but man, thank you so much for stopping by and listening to us. Abe is on here. Says he's been here. He's been here for hours too. He's not been as wild as Soup being in the chat, but he's been popping in and out. But I'm glad that people put up with me for Sundays for a couple hours at a time, or for tonight 4 hours at a time. But it's just fun to talk to, and you mentioned giving Luigi Gauchard a platform. How dare I? I think everybody, no matter where you're at, has some level of insight that they can bring to us, some kind of perspective that can change us. And maybe it's not, maybe it's something that you just know that you don't want to do. But it's still good to know why you don't want to do that.
It's actually, exactly. It's actually insight instead of just blanketing him the fuck out with, or anyone out just because you get this immediate instinct that they're actually a toxic person. You give them a platform to actually talk and show their true selves and get to know them, and that's a beautiful thing. So
I remember when I asked Garrett Garrett Burton Yellow to be a QCSTO and get on board and help with us. He was so excited. He was so excited. He made a tweet about it. He's like, man, when this guy came into the scene, he's like, I thought that he had absolutely nothing but bad intentions for everybody involved. But then,
blanket,
and then when he said, but then I got to know him, and then I started to understand that wasn't.
Clip this.
Just wasn't the case.
Clip it.
Somebody look up Garrett Burton's Twitter.
So
find it.
True. It's so stupid true. And God, for the sake of humanity, just you want to actually progress. We're going to go backwards and not forwards if we just keep shutting people down for having a goddamn controversial opinion.
Yeah, man. I mean, in the words of one of the greatest poets of my generation, the generation before me, the great poet laureate Travis Tritt, he said, I had that's my son. He said, what's up, bub? He said, I had the best of intentions from the start. I mean, just and that's what I've and anything that I've ever done, no matter what anybody thinks, I've had the best of intentions, and that's something that you can't tell in general from just hearing somebody's words or watching a video or seeing something they've written or anything. You don't know what they're trying. You don't know the intentions. Even if I tell you what my intentions are, you don't know if I'm lying to you or not. You know what I mean? Another great poet, Roddy Piper, said, just when you have the answers, I change the questions. And that's while that is kind of fun, while that's kind of wild, kind of funny. I mean, dude, that's what I just try to keep people guessing, but I'm always wanting to move forward. But I'm gonna have to shut it down, man. I can't turn. Hold on just a second. Come here, Bub.
Bringing Bub in. Here comes Bub. I don't think I've seen him. He's probably. I've never seen him in person, but I don't know if I've seen him in a while, so I don't know what the progress of Bub is. Unless he's actually coming on camera. There, Bub! Hey, Bub, what's good?
Say hi, everybody. Say hi.
Why you mean mugging for? Hey, Bub, what's good? What you doing? Oh, okay.
He said lights.
Yeah. Yeah. Yo, money match? You want to go?
Oh, baby. Hey. Show, hey, where's Daddy's boy?
Is that baby Babble?
Where's Daddy's boy?
Yeah, you point this direction. That's right.
Cut a promo.
Yeah.
Cut a promo. Say, just when you have the answers, I change the questions. But
how would it see now, man?
But dude, this this right here, when you talk about priorities and stuff.
Priorities, yeah.
This dude right here, if he comes up to the baby gate and starts yelling "Dad," we got to shut the stream down. You know what I mean? We got to do it. But I thank you guys. Thank you guys for sticking with us in the chat. It's been a long one, but man, it's been fun, and we'll be here every week. Thursday, I'll be back with a Smash stream. Thursday at 7. Monday, we'll have Barker's Thought Sweeper. I don't know who his guest is, so I'll post that on Facebook when I get it.
I'm double appearancing, so I'll be on the Thought Sweepers. I'm just kidding.
See you guys. Thanks everybody for sticking around. Oh.